thing. I'm just getting old. You know, when you get older, you just want more appliances and shit.
I know what you're saying, yo. I'm a sucker for some kitchen appliances and all that.
I love that shit, bro.
I don't know why I don't really like to cook. I don't even really like to use shit, but kitchen appliances look dope.
It's good to have some gadgets.
It is something about them.
Good to
Yeah,
have some
I like that
gadgets.
shit. But I like to cook and shit though. So
That makes it makes a little bit even more sense then.
right.
If you actually got some use for it. And we're just getting ready to record. Welcome back, Return of the Mac podcast.
Yep.
Watching a little TV in the background. Carl got sucked into a kitchen appliance commercial. It happens sometimes.
I'm an infomercial motherfucker. Like I will
Oh, they be getting you with the infomercials.
all the time, bro.
1:30 in the morning.
All the
just
time,
sitting there
like,
watching both
I
legs.
used to-
It's 4 easy payments. You can have this bowl.
No shit. Like I mean, I've never like necessarily like bought one from the infomercial, but I will sit there and watch the entire thing though.
That's wild, son.
Y'all never did that shit? I used to do that shit as a, like when I was little.
Then when I wake up at 2 in the morning, that shit is just on.
No, I mean, it should be genuinely like
The only-
genuinely interesting.
The only one that used to get me is like when they're talking about getting like a box set of Motown classics or some shit, and it just constantly is playing
playing
old
music over.
Yeah, they're just hitting you with every 5 seconds.
Mine
Switch to the
are
hits.
all like appliance related. I never really cared for like the like music specials or anything like that. Just all like the appliance shit, like fucking I don't know what was the set it and forget it shit or whatever that was. You remember that?
Yeah, I'm
set it and forget it.
Yeah.
It was like the Nouveau or the Turbo Wave or something.
ShamWow.
ShamWow.
That guy died.
Did he?
They got died?
Yeah.
Okay.
Billy
That shit was
Mays.
A long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Billy Mays is
Motherfucking
dead.
ShamWow.
Well, no, was that Billy Mays though?
Nah, it was the other goofy looking dude.
Yeah,
He was
but
like a young kid.
Yeah.
Nah, I know what
But
you're saying.
Billy Mays was the guy who did.
He had the big beard and shit.
Yeah, he did OxyClean.
That OxyClean.
Yeah.
OxyClean was that shit.
I just know because there's. Did y'all watch South Park at all?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't like a faithful watcher, but I catch some episodes here and there.
Same here. Did you see the one with Billy Mays?
didn't see that one.
Like, the main reason his name sticks out in my head is there was like an episode where he kept popping up. It was like, "Hey, it's Billy Mays here," and they also had Michael Jackson on that same episode. And episode is hilarious.
Okay.
Check out Billy Mays.
I've definitely seen the Michael
South
Jackson
Park,
episodes.
but yeah. Yo, this is a wild start that we're on right now.
Oh,
It
for
is.
sure.
Wild
I like it.
start.
I like
Everybody likes infomercials.
It means
though.
for a good pod.
I think that's.
I guess. So I would never sit and watch an infomercial, but I like Shark Tank, which is
kinda the
basically
same
just
thing.
them doing an infomercial
Right,
and then the
right.
business stuff after.
Pretty
so
much the same shit.
I'll let you off the hook. It sounds like a serial killer trait, though, to be like,
What's
yo, I
the-
love infomercials.
Do you know what the biggest product off Shark Tank is?
Oh, man.
Was it a shark?
You know the
was
answer,
it a Shark
right?
Tank?
I think.
Okay.
I know it's one of them.
Was it a Shark Tank?
No. I doubt that would be like common for the regular
can't-
person to
I
buy.
can't think of it
consume.
right now.
It's the Scrub Daddy.
Like, is
You
that-
ever had one of those? You got one of those? It's like a sponge.
Wait,
that-
are you offering or this is a product?
It's a product.
Okay.
Oh, you think he offered you a scrub
He
daddy?
said scrub daddy.
Stop it, man.
Hey, scrub
It's-
daddy.
they got a whole line.
Not
They
right
got
now.
the,
We're on
they got the,
camera.
they got the Scrub Daddy. They got the Scrub Mommy. And shit. It's just a sponge or whatever. Like,
When you say the scrub mommy as a part of I do remember hearing about this because I think they also have a kids thing. Like they did a whole family thing.
yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
actually.
it's a really good product. I got one. And it's
Scrub
like,
daddy, scrub mommy. Sounds like a porno category.
It does.
I mean, I'm sure you will have some success if you put that into your search engine. But
Something gonna pop up. Something
I'm
gonna
just
pop
saying.
up. Somebody getting scrubbed.
That's the
mommy or daddy.
Those are really. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know if you could use that as like a sexual innuendo or whatever.
Oh, easily. You
What, scrub
definitely
daddy?
could. What are you talking about?
Scrub. Like, how is scrub sexual at all?
Anything you put daddy on.
I mean, I guess
After the
age.
age of 7 and you put daddy in there, it's a weird thing.
Why 7?
It was just the first thing that came to my mind.
Why the age of 7? You got something you want to tell us about?
No, nothing I want to explain, but what is the age that you would look at a kid funny for saying daddy? Boy. A son.
Nah, I want my kids to call. I still call my dad
I
daddy.
don't know. It wouldn't be 7 though.
I guess not. Now that you say that, I do know a lot of people that say I never
said dad.
I was the opposite.
I've never
all right.
said dad. It's always been daddy. So, yeah, I mean that's what I call my pops.
Do you consider yourself kind of country?
my family, more my dad is.
Called you old country boy.
I would consider myself
these are honest
a
questions.
city boy, but like my roots are country.
Okay,
for sure.
Because I'll be honest, are you're totally off on this? When I hear somebody say "daddy," I would think it would be a little kid, a chick being sexual.
I think it just depends on what you call them your whole
country
life.
Family.
I think it depends on what you call them your whole life.
Yeah, it's got to be.
That's what it is. If you call them daddy your whole life, you still gonna call him daddy as well.
Right. Of course. What did you call your dad?
Dad.
Yeah, me too.
Just dad.
I wasn't trying to shame you, Carl.
Oh no shame,
disrespect here.
Yeah, that's my daddy. But I mean, I feel like anybody who says like father or something, like you had like
that's super
you got
weird.
beat or something.
No, that's super weird.
Like, are you Catholic or something? I don't know.
Why are you calling his corporate title? Call me by the corporate title.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I was just having this talk with my kid before I left the crib.
This is super random.
We have these debates all the time, just random ass debates. She was like, I don't know how it even came up, but the situation came up with her being able to call me Tim.
Get out of here.
And I was like, why you think it would be cool to call me that? She was like, if I called you, it shouldn't be a problem. It's your name, right? Everybody got a name. Da, da, da. I'm like, but you don't call me that. You call me daddy. So that's what you gonna call me. She was like, I was like, put it this way. Would you call Suge is my mom. She called my mom Suge. Would you call Suge Raymonica? So she was like, nah. I was like, call her right now and be like, what's up, Monty? You wouldn't do that because you would get cussed out if you went there and called her that. It's the same with me. There ain't no difference. So then we just had to both month back and forth. She was like, the teacher. I was like, your teachers, you wouldn't call your teacher by their first name. She's like, yeah, but that's different. I was like, how is it different? So you got more respect for a teacher that you just met 2 months ago to call them by their last name, but not respect to not call me by my first name. What are we talking about?
That's a wild conversation.
I'm back and forth about that, and she ended up losing the conversation because she ended up saying like, yeah, I just wouldn't call you that. I was like, yeah, that's right. You would never call me that, so it wouldn't be like a thing that you would just slip up and call me.
Nah, I can't. I can never imagine even calling my parents by the first name, just because it sounds weird.
Somebody would be a slip. It would be a slip up. If you never did it, it's not a slip up. Right. It would only be intentional.
Right, it would only be intentional. It would never have crossed your mind unless you said, "I'm gonna intentionally do this." My daughter does that shit sometimes just to be funny. It's very seldom. But she Carl.
Yeah, we do the same thing.
She's funny as shit. But
we would do that too. We do that too. Like, Donna, who are you talking to?
Right, yeah, you do that shit. But I wasn't brave enough to do it.
But you ain't about to just yell down the steps. Hey, yo, Carl.
Right. Like, yeah, that'll never happen. That'll never happen.
Call you from upstairs and shit. Who the fuck is she talking to?
Yeah, I don't know how I would act that situation.
Yeah.
I probably just wouldn't respond and then later on take action. But yeah.
What do your parents have siblings? Both of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom got 6 sisters.
How do you refer to them? What do you call them?
Oh, uncle and aunt.
Yeah, aunt and uncle.
Uncle name, Uncle Tracy, Aunt Rose.
Yeah.
And you still call them that now?
Yeah.
Same.
Sometimes I just call them by their first name at times.
Is that weird?
I don't think so.
This is what I'm getting at. Is like there was a certain age where I say aunt, but my aunts and uncles were like, they never said specifically call me one or the other.
Right.
But I have a couple of aunts that'll be like, you just call me Becky. Like, hey, your Aunt Becky. That's who you are to me. I'm not going to call you just Becky. It sounds weird, but I didn't know if like other people do that. If that's just
like
my
I guess if like I'm talking to them or like I'm trying to get their attention or something, I might just call them by their name. But if I'm talking about them to somebody like that, that's my Aunt Stacy, that's my Aunt Nick. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I guess as you get older, you start to do
by their
stuff
first
like that
names before, but I'm not just every time be like, yo, Uncle Tracy or Aunt Rose. Like I'm not doing that every single time, but I can. Yeah. Most of the time, if I'm introducing or something like that, I put the aunt or uncle before. Mostly it's just be unc. All my uncles is unc.
Gotcha.
All of them is unc.
Right. Somebody gonna answer.
Yeah. Y'all know I'm talking to one of y'all. Yeah. Or all of y'all.
I don't have any uncles I'm close to, honestly. Both my mom and my dad have all sisters.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, I have uncles that married into a family, but not anybody that I'm super tight with. This is super random though, and by the end of the episode, we always end up saying, "Yo, we're squeezing in these last couple of seconds." Right. Great conversation here about absolutely nothing. Shout out to Seinfeld, but why don't we get into some of our topics?
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
This week we're gonna switch it up. We got new music first. You know the NFL wrap up is coming up. Some NBA getting ready to start, so plenty of sports on the way.
Big facts.
New music, big drop of the week.
Big artists.
Lil Baby.
One of the biggest. Lil Baby.
Lil Baby.
What do you say? It's only him?
It's only me. Yeah, it's only me.
What is that about?
That's the
I
name
don't
of the
know because he has features.
Oh, that's the
on
name of
here.
the album.
album.
Yeah.
It's only me.
I don't know why.
With like 4 different versions of him on it. I guess like him as a kid and him as.
I
when he
didn't
first
even look
came
at the
out.
album cover.
Yeah,
You
did
did.
I didn't
It's like
pay
4
attention.
different versions. Like him
Mount
as a
Rushmore.
kid, him when he first came out and he had the little fro.
That's dope. The fat little bit, the chubby cheek little
Yeah.
baby.
Nah, this is
Before he
kind of
got on,
fire.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of fire.
Y'all ain't
That's
noticed that
never
before?
that's never been done.
I honestly didn't pay no
It's
attention.
kind of
to
hard.
it.
That's a hard.
That's
oh,
never been
hard ass
done.
fucking cover.
I looked at this cover, and do you remember the cover for Corday's album?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. And I just quick kind of imaged and
Okay.
And you know what? It
went
kind of
away. But the Mount Rushmore is fire.
the scenery isn't that similar to the My Turn
Yeah.
scenery?
The same background. He's him sitting down.
Right.
With
I think I've
Barlow.
seen
I
that
like the
on-
cohesion there. I like the way he's blending it together a little
Yeah.
bit.
That's high level shit.
Yeah, high level shit.
You know what I'm saying? It all got to come together.
Well, let me tell you, man, he did not disappoint with this album. I think the 2 Lil Baby projects that I've listened to in totality, and you might say that I got onto Lil Baby, late or whatever, but My Turn was the first full album that I listened to of Lil Baby. I don't know if it was his first full album, and the rest were like before that were mixtapes.
My Turn?
Or not.
I think that was
but
the
that's like
first-
his first
the first
official
technical official
project
first
or whatever
album,
that I was aware
That
of.
was the same that I jumped on as well.
And that was an amazing project I thought, and that's what told me how great Lil Baby could be if he were to stay on this path. And this is just the follow up to it. There's no letdown for me at all on this. I think I was just impressed.
Before that was Street Gossip and Harder Than Ever. That was both mixtapes.
Mixtapes, yeah. I was just impressed. To me, it's every song is a quality song on there. You might have your preference of what you may listen to over this or that, but I don't really count anything as a skip on it. I think it was a really, really good album.
Shit hard. Shit hard. It was a few skips because there's a lot of songs, but it wasn't like, I don't think it was no bad songs. Like you said, everything played pretty good. Not a lot of features. So it was like, it kind of made sense. But hey, he went hard. Beast is hard. He did his thing. I can't really say much about it.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I have noticed this before when I was going back and just like looking through all his previous albums. I started listening about the same time you did. Well, that project. And he had one run here where the album names were To the Hard Way, Too Hard, Harder Than Ever, Drip Harder. Those are 4 straight albums. Mm-hmm. So he is very cohesive. When he has an idea, he sticks to it. Yeah. I didn't really listen to the project.
Rich Homie did that with his mixtapes.
Oh, really?
It was like, I'm never going to stop. I promise I'm never going to stop. I ain't never lied. I'm not going to stop forever. Or something like that. That's how his mixtape runs.
Don't put too much thought into that shit.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I see where you're going. All right. Oh, you never going to stop. All right, we get it. I promise I'm never going to stop.
I didn't know about that.
Fucking Khaled.
I didn't listen to any music throughout the week. We had it on for half hour or so today before we were recording. It sounds really great.
Man, Lil Baby got bars. I know people don't really think that, but he do. He just says some impactful shit. Not like bars, like metaphors or nothing like that. But he says some impactful shit that makes you be like, that's a dope line. That made me think about some shit. Like that's relatable to me, possibly. He got some bars, bro. Every song, he has a line in there that made me feel that way. That's what I felt like anyway. Just some real shit.
Damn.
Lil
Baby don't do that for me.
Really?
He don't do that for me. He don't got bars that like, I can relate to that. He just got rapper bars.
No,
He
but
got, like, regular
he
rapper
be talking
bars, but he
about
does it
real
really well.
life though. Like he don't have like.
I mean, sure.
It ain't a bunch
Yeah.
of rap cap when you listen to Lil Baby. Like he be telling you about like actual shit that might progress your life. Like if you do and follow, you know what I'm saying? Like, or to things to avoid and shit like that, or just some real nigga shit. Like he really be laying it out in his music. I meant to jot some of them down before I got here, but if you just listen to it, man, you gonna catch one in every line. You be like, yo, that's just a real statement right there. Like, it's not a bunch of wordplay or nothing like that. It's just like, okay, that's something that words of wisdom type shit. That's something you needed to hear in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Did you just say that he has substance?
Yeah, right. That's a good way to describe it. Sure. But I
can go with that.
I mark them as bars just because I think anything that you say that's impactful to me is a bar. It doesn't have to be necessarily, like I said, a bunch of wordplay or puns or anything like that. It's just impactful statements.
I don't want to get into like this being a huge discussion because we've had it 100 times, but I feel like when you say stuff like that, and we've had it come up in other rappers that you've talked about, I don't disagree with what you're saying, like in general, but I feel like it's one of these situations where everybody has said nothing for
That's
such
possible.
a long time that when somebody even does the bare minimum substance-wise, it's like, yo, this dude really got some substance, and I have no problems.
I think that's
like
why. That's
I have
why
no
I'm
problem
at with it.
saying that.
'Cause
But
I know he's
but
saying some real shit, but it's not hitting me like. Of course, I'm gonna go here. When Hov said some shit, it's like, oh, all right. It's like on that level when Hov said, when he says like, oh, it might have been some impactful shit or something, whatever. But it ain't like, oh, that was crazy that he said that. They put that together like that. It was just like I thought. Like,
Well, I
he
mean,
just
I do
rapping.
think he's the whole of his generation.
I do hear him rap. I mean, when I listen to him, there are like frequently times that I hear him say something, and I'm like, he actually is. What's the word? I don't even know what I would try to say. Like, I do know what you're
Clever?
saying. Yeah, there's some
I don't
cleverness,
even know
but
if
not
it's
even
necessarily
that.
clever. It's just that
There's times
some
he
clever
seems
bars.
like he's trying to educate people.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
No,
He
I
putting
see
thought
what
into
you're
it
saying.
that way. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm delivering a message through this music. It's not just I'm making a hot song right now. Like he actually has, I don't know. I guess just I don't know, a goal or like motivational speaking. I guess. What you would say
that's a great way to say it.
is in his music, and that's what
definitely
I
some
appreciate.
motivational movement.
And I don't,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying about like the rest of the industry so dumbed down that when he says one little thing it's impactful. That's not how I see it because I liken it to like what Tupac did. Tupac didn't use a bunch of wordplay and shit like that. He was just saying a bunch of real shit. Like that's what Tupac did, and he was still amongst people who did that, big puns and fucking Biggie and all of these other great rappers and stuff like that, and still considered one of the great rappers of his time as well too, or if not the greatest. So to me that's why it doesn't really matter what the rest of the industry around them is doing or anything like that. It's just about I look at it solely at what Lil Baby is giving.
I think
us.
in either way that you compare, I don't think is that impactful. What are you saying? Just because the way that he's rapping, I think it is. Like when you say Tupac, he says impactful shit. You can hear every word that he's saying. And not saying you can't understand what Lil Baby's saying. We passed that point now. But just how he raps, so in a pocket, in a flow, that it comes off like you're not really like listening to it for that. To me, like I'm not listening to it that he get hit with the impactful bars. I'm into it to see how many different flows he about to go on this crazy beat with. That's how I'm listening to it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and he
Well, that's
does
an
that
interesting
too.
point.
'Cause I feel
though.
like that's where he gets in his most bag, the flows and the way he catches the beat and finds a different tempo in the beat, and he goes crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he
That's
does
where
that.
it's crazy for me.
He does that very well,
Yeah.
and that's probably the strength of his rapping. I wouldn't disagree with that. Like that's like the crutch that he would lean on.
Just how he attacks
And he can
beats be
dominate
crazy.
with the relentless flow, or just like flow switches and stuff, which I think
Yeah.
he does a great job on his album of. Is just like pacing and stuff like that. But man, within that, he delivers. Like I said, top. I think. I mean, you might not want to call them tier 1 type bars or anything like that, or level
Right.
1 type bars. But I mean, he's inching his way up there. It's just like I said, impactful
The fact that
statements.
it's not, that you even admitting that it's not tier 1, it can get lost in the sauce a little bit. Just with all the flips
I
and
mean,
the ways
it
that
just
how
depends
hard
on
the
what
beats
your
is.
definition
You know what I'm
of that. Like I said, my criteria is different from what everybody else's might be. Just because I mean, I see it in a different way, in my perspective. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell if you think if it's impactful to you, it's impactful.
Right,
to you.
right.
I can't tell you if it's
Exactly.
not an impactful record or not. I'll say a couple of just observations. I think maybe his how effortlessly he raps well may take away from what he actually says. Because he has like such a laid back demeanor and he's just going that like you tend to just kind of vibe with what he's going and you may not really be listening to what he's saying. So I'll say that could be part of it, but either way, I don't have anything.
If
bad
you listen
say
to
about
like just the first 4 records, and it's throughout the it's quotables, and I've always said this about like my favorite rappers is that they have quotables. Like you're gonna take lines away from them songs, and you can post that shit on your status. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like hey, like that.
not that one.
Was that the worst song on the album?
It's not. It's not the worst song on the album.
That song is actually hard.
The song
It's
is
just the
hard.
hook
It's just
that's
the hook
crazy.
is gay as hell. It just is
so bad.
The song is actually hard. That beat hard. He going crazy.
That
on
to
that
me
shit.
is part of the industry's agenda.
I asked y'all about. I already
That's
know
where you
where
took
it's
that?
going. Yeah.
Seriously.
I asked y'all in the chat if y'all had seen any of the Twitter stuff
You put a
about
little murder on the remix. But go ahead.
Right?
You're going crazy.
any of the Twitter stuff about that song specifically, and it was just one video where they had it like playing in the studio, and all his boys are around,
Yeah.
and like it wasn't getting crazy reaction, but Lil Baby is still rapping it, and he's
Yeah.
doing the hate part,
Yeah.
and it was like the caption on the video was like, he's the only one in the studio that doesn't know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's exactly how I felt when I heard it. So I was glad to hear somebody else had that same thought, that
Lil
nobody
Baby
wants to
knows
tell him this sucks.
Lil Baby know what's up. You know why he had to make that song. He didn't. He
And the sad
probably
thing
didn't-
is, he
know
gonna have
what's up.
cats in the club singing, "Hey."
Oh, for sure.
They gonna be singing that hook in the club.
It's catchy. It's catchy. It's catchy as shit. You listen to that motherfucker two
Not if
times,
you don't listen to it
and you
twice.
gonna be around your house talking about some. Hey, it's just it's fucked
Why I
up.
only listened once.
Yeah, I would skip that one. I normally skip that one just so it doesn't get stuck in my head. But it's a solid record. It is overall. But I mean, some of my favorite songs on there. I really like the intro, Real Spill, a lot. Stand on It is a great record. California Breeze. I like the one with the Young Thug, Never Hating. That's good. Not Finished.
Doug sounded
Running.
good on that. That was playing earlier.
Yeah,
He
that's
sounded really
a
good on
good
that.
song.
Friday, John. That boy Friday.
Yeah, that's a good record
Yeah,
too.
that
Friday.
joint was
So
fire. I
he
had to
dropping
ask.
the EP this Friday.
Damn, I didn't even realize Jeremiah was on this. I listened to every song and I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that was a good record. I like that joint.
I like the one with Pooh Shiesty on there. I mean, like again, I mean, it's not a song on here that I'm gonna say that's bad. It's just it's a really good project.
Hard album.
Yeah.
No doubt.
sure. Well, I know you. I shared the numbers, but I know you weren't surprised at seeing it at all. Well,
It was 200.
200K?
210.
210?
He's on pace for.
That's a lot.
I just think, I mean, every artist I've been seeing that's dropped an album in like the recent months have been like such and such is selling 30K.
Well, everybody's albums is
what-
down, but the guys that are in the tier as him have had that number.
Yeah, I mean, I guess those guys just haven't dropped an album in a while, so
yeah,
we
and
haven't
those
seen
numbers are
anything
down.
that
The
big.
200 is down. Like Drake was doing like 350 last year.
Oh, for
So,
sure,
you
for
know
sure,
what I'm saying?
for
So
sure.
for him to just, you know what I'm saying? Kendrick did like 200 something.
He
So
did
it's
like
about,
3
he in that,
songs, I
he in that
think.
range he's supposed to be.
We're close
With
to
all
it.
that push and power behind him, he's supposed to at least do that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he certainly got the industry
Yeah.
at his back, but I think it was impressive, just based on what I've been seeing. Yeah.
Anybody that does those numbers is impressive, and
Yeah.
coming from him, I think it.
Well, I think it's
Continues
just
to be impressive.
it's just one of those things too. It's going to continue because the music is quality, so it's not going to be one of those things where it streams heavily for a week and then just drops off
Well,
drastically.
plus, in my opinion, I don't know. This is going to come out wrong. Easy to argue against, but there's a certain tier that once you get into the tier, like you don't go back down without doing something proactively to
To harm
injure
yourself.
your career.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
once you get a large enough fan base, you're
Yeah.
going to put up
Yeah.
X amount of numbers just because. Like Drake's never going to not sell. Kanye
Yeah.
would be an example of somebody that is working his way working his way out of that tier, or has worked his way out of that tier, but
I had to say, I mean, you do go down. You don't stay up
Sure,
in
sure.
that tier.
As you get
Drake
to
is
it
like an
over.
anomaly because he's been up for like a decade on that level.
Yeah.
So it's like different to put Drake in there, but most people, they have a good 4 or 5
Drake
year
also
run.
does nothing
Right, and then it falls
adversial though. Like he is the role model for pretty much everything. Like he stays out of anything that's like divisive, and I think that's the biggest part about keeping yourself in that tier. I know Kanye is just a different beast though, because he's had so many years in the game. And
totally
stuff like
different thing. I didn't mean to like bring in that comparison. Right. Now that he's up to 200,000, I'm just saying I would expect Lil Baby's next 3 albums
to be around that ballpark,
up in that range, and then you start to get into kind of like just the career.
And he also doesn't dilute it. Like he's not dropping a project every 3 months or anything like that. So he's making the people wait for his next solo project.
At that
anyway.
level, you're supposed to.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That much.
Yeah,
you gotta,
I mean, looking at his discography, he never has though, right? I mean, he's always kind of.
He had a quick come up.
Yeah.
He's relatively quick. I mean, what, like 4 years?
He ain't been rapping that long.
4 or 5 years at max.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of other stuff to get to, so we kind of need to keep it moving. But I do want to ask you one last question because we talked about this last week while you weren't here.
Oh yeah.
Lil Baby, where does he fall in your view of versatility? We asked last week specifically. It was like I said, I'm a little bit surprised that he doesn't get any of the criticisms that some of the other rappers that have very similar sound over and over do.
Yeah.
What is your thought on that?
I mean, I think he definitely has his sound on certain tracks, but I do think he does a good job of switching it up, like switching up flows and stuff like that, rapping at different paces. I think if you look at his singles alone, you can pick out quite a few singles that don't sound alike. I don't see him in a box like I would have compared the Baby to, or even Rod Wave or anything like that specifically. I get what people say. Lil Baby sounds like Lil Baby, of course, but like he ain't like changing his voice or nothing like that or doing nothing super crazy. But
I think that's what it is for me as a like non-music person. As far as like making music and all this shit, to me, just his voice always sounds the same. There's no tone difference. Where other rappers might have the similarities in all of their music is their sound, but there'll be like a totally different, really aggressive on one.
Yeah,
really, like
he doesn't do any of that.
He ain't getting hype or nothing.
I feel like that's part of his talent though. Like it's really an effortless type of flow that he delivers, but he is switching up the pace and cadence and stuff like that when he raps, and he does add some like melodic value to it as well too. He's not like super big on that, but he comes through with especially on this album early on too. I think the flow switches I was impressed by when he came in with a little bit of melody here and there. So he just doesn't do a lot of that, but he'll sprinkle it in every now and then. But I could definitely, if somebody were to say all Lil Baby songs sound the same, I would disagree, but I could understand.
I got you.
Yeah, like I said, it's just he ain't got no bad negative narrative with him. Everybody love Lil Baby. So, like we would argue about the Baby in the past about him having sounds. Like that's what rappers want to get is their sound. Every rapper has their sound. It sounds like a Lil Baby beat. It sounds like the Baby beat or whatever, a song or whatever. That's what you want. But if once you get a bad narrative about it, you just making the same songs over and over again, But if you're successful and you keep doing your thing, keep pushing, and you don't get no negative shit around you, you can get love like Lil Baby do.
You just gotta shut up and keep grinding.
Yeah, Lil Baby don't be talking, he ain't doing none of that extra shit. He just give me all music.
Speaking of the Baby, he you see his album completely dropped off of the Billboard, like 200 or something like that after the first week.
Who?
The Baby.
Oh, no.
It appeared and disappeared.
Y'all think he get blackballed?
No, I don't think so. I just don't think people like him right now.
Yeah,
I think you got to do a lot to. I think both are factors. I do think that I think the label's not going to put money behind something they know it's not going to sell. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to put resources behind something.
Even after you did 150 last album?
Well, what I'm saying is they know.
You don't think that's something you put money behind?
But they base it on like your reception of ticket sales and stuff like that, and all of that. Like all factors into how much a label is going to promote you. And once they start seeing that type of stuff go down,
they're like, said, all right, look, the narrative is the narrative. You get that one blip of a ticket sale thing, and now he
But
don't sell tickets.
that's the one we're aware of. Though.
Come on, like
that's what
he
I'm
don't
just
sell
saying. Like,
tickets.
the
that's
baby's
the one
demise
we're
is
aware
not
of.
some narrative bullshit. I thought we were all on the same page in this. Is he's done everything possible
No, I agree
to
with that, but
injure himself.
the blips of negative things that have happened along the way add to the narrative of like, oh yeah, he just falling off. I don't think that he's fell off. I think he just had negative shit happen, and the industry done turned on him. We're not gonna keep boosting
he
you up
rapping
and,
the same.
and putting you in these situations where you look good. When you doing all this wild shit, coming at Meg, like, nah, bro, nah, we're not supporting that. We love Meg. Everybody loves Meg. You know what I'm saying? Shit like you can't.
I'm in support of the bashing, but
Yeah, I don't know. Me and you I think we say most of the same things, but to me, when you talk about the baby, it's defensive as if he's not at fault. And it's a label problem.
I think he is
I get
fully at fault of the shit
defensive
that
when
he
I hear
did.
that.
Big facts, but it's like 150K first week to going to 17K ain't just because you did a couple negative things. It ain't just because of that. Like people gonna still want to listen to you. You still got fans that still like your music. They gonna listen to your music. They ain't gonna not listen to it because the industry ain't promoting you. Like. You know what I'm saying? I think they will still go out and listen to it.
I think he turned off a lot of his fans. That's all I think. And I think whenever you selling that high, when you like, especially 150 and above, I feel like
we just said it. Once you get in that tier range, you should stay there. It shouldn't
but
be one
I feel
album
like
and it's over.
A lot of your,
I
a lot of
said-
your fan base though are going to be female consumers, and he did a lot to piss that demographic off. I think that's to me is pretty easy.
I feel like
to
he got
see
a
that.
lot of kid fans.
Well, and I said once you get into that tier, you have to work your way out. I think he's done that. But the other thing to keep in mind is like it all goes together, and that's why I said like I think we're all saying the same things.
Yeah,
it's chicken or the egg, whatever you want to call it. But at the time when he's selling 150,000, he also is doing work with pop stars.
Yeah.
He's putting out songs with Dua Lipa and shit, who's just like a massive international presence.
Yeah.
So you lose that kind of thing, and I don't know how many people got put onto him from the pop exposure, and those people are not likely to continue to back somebody that does continue to have negative headlines. So I don't know.
Well, so yeah, it all plays a part.
That man got to donate to some charities or something. He got. It's gonna be slow, but he got to rebuild the image. It's gonna take some time.
He's got to stop being himself, and that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in favor of him continuing to doing what he's doing. I think so. I have no problem with the baby.
We come back to Lil Baby academics because this fits too perfect right now. Lil Baby is the Boosie. I mean, I'm sorry, the baby is Boosie. Personality wise, that's the kind of character you're dealing with.
Very similar.
That's not somebody that's going to
outspoken
donate to charities and try to clean up his image. He's going to say something wild next week. It's never going to stop.
I don't know if I agree with that comparison.
I think Boosie is a little bit wilder.
I do too, but it's the same category.
I get what you're saying,
And
though.
Boosie is different with Boosie because Boosie playing a different game. He's independent. He's been moving independent for years now, so he doesn't need the industry and the shit to help move him and protect him in different situations. The baby needs that.
Well, why is he
That's why
crying
he's
about
moving
nobody
right now,
coming to
'cause
his
he's part
movie?
of that, huh?
Why is the Boosie? Why is the Boosie?
The Boosie.
Why is Boosie crying about nobody came to support his new movie last week?
Because he got relationships with a lot of rappers and shit. So I can understand that.
Either way, they're cut from the same cloth. And when you're talking about trying to deal with the industry, get industry support, neither one of them are going to do what they need to get industry support.
I mean, yeah, I still think it's different situations. The baby's signed to a major label. Boosie is not. He doesn't need the majors for nothing.
It is what it is.
Yeah, you know.
The Boosie, T.I, Charleston White, y'all have at it. I don't pay it. I think Charleston White is funny, and all the clips that you've been sharing like the last 3-4 months, hilarious.
Dude,
I do enjoy
great.
watching him just be a clown entertainer on the individual setting. Once it gets involved and it's like really getting into what it is right now, and you insert T.I and Boosie into it, anything that has T.I, Boosie, and Charleston White involved,
This is legendary.
Remove myself from this
is
conversation.
legendary internet content.
These guys are clowns.
That's what it sounds like.
Tell
to
us
me.
what's going on.
I don't really know exactly how it started. I just know it started with the kids. Tip's son, what's T.I.'s son's name?
Is that King?
King? Is that what
that
it is?
King?
I guess. And then Tootie Raw is Boosie's son.
Yeah, King Harris. Huh?
All right, gotcha. So it started with them. I guess I'm not sure what they did. They got into like some trouble or some
You
shit.
just see him in public somewhere.
I did see that actually.
They
I saw T.I.'s kid got arrested for something.
they got into some
Yeah,
trouble or
that
something.
was
And then
something else though.
Charleston White spoke on it.
Kid been wild. He was tripping.
Yeah, I guess Charleston White spoke on it and just said, they going to jail. That's what he was saying. Like, pretty much, they need some jail, or they shouldn't be doing this type of stuff because of who their parents are, or something like that to that effect. But I mean, he went in on them pretty good. You know, that's what he does. He's an internet character. So,
Yeah.
And then T.I.'s son had responded back to it or whatever, threatening Charleston White in some manner. And Charleston White was like, I'm a senior citizen, so
he reported him.
he's pretty much saying like, I'm gonna call the cops with all these threats that you're sending me and stuff like that. You can't hit me. It's all the cards that he play and stuff. But and then of course T.I. got involved into it, but I don't know if there's much else to add to it except for that. I just like to watch the clips.
It's just some funny shit to watch. But why you beefing with the kids on the internet, your old ass?
Yeah, I think it's funny.
But it's just what he do. Like once you start responding to him too, then he gonna really play it off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He'll go dive
Are
into
they
it
kids
more.
though? Are they kids though? These are
Yeah, I
grown
think they're
men,
kids.
right?
If they're grown, they might be like 18 grown.
18, 19.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kids.
I'm going ahead and put myself in harm's way and say, T.I.'s kid is wild looking.
Yeah, he wild.
Oh no, that's what
He looks crazy.
That's
and
what
then
Charleston White said.
When
though.
he talks, he looks
said-
even more nuts.
Charleston was like, "You long hair freak." Yo, he was going in on him, yo. He been going in on.
He is a fucking character.
Uh,
He's like, yo, he looked more. What he say? He looked more like Tiny than Tip.
He do.
Yo, he was
He
going.
definitely
Yo,
does.
Yeah.
he was going in on Boosie. What he said, Boosie, the only nigga with that much money who got dehydrated lips like that. He said his lips look like a set of kneecaps. Yo, the dude is great for internet content, but I don't know why they keep feeding the beast. You just can't respond to him. Like Boosie doing the right thing and just not even responding back to Charleston White at all.
Yeah, it's gonna need.
T.I. want to do this whole back and forth thing with him on the internet. Like, yo, you're not gonna win against a guy like this.
Yeah, it's funny
He's
when
not.
T.I. always just hop on live when something happens and get to talking like he always look like he talking down on people when
Yeah,
he talking.
yeah,
I mean, because he
yeah.
is literally looking down at his phone, but it's like he be talking down on the live. It's like, yo, I don't think nobody really taking you seriously like you taking yourself seriously.
No, I don't think so. You just can't sound tough.
That's
I
just
just feel
funny.
like, in this situation,
I mean,
just
of
leave
course
it
he can
alone.
speak well, but it's just funny how he always think once he hop on live, it's like God talking to everybody.
He does.
Oh, this is it right
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
He
yeah.
does have that.
Up. T.I. hopped on live. It's
T.I.
going-
spoke now. It's over. He just dropped some words we don't understand.
It's going
and
down.
Then we'll spend 2 weeks looking him up.
He does have that aura to him.
Yeah. All right, let me go ahead and
Come
clear
deal
all
with
this
what he
up.
say? Come deal with the daddy. Come deal with the daddy. Like,
I feel like T.I. is like, I don't think the internet stuff has aged well for him.
It hasn't worked well.
No, I think he's like
Hasn't worked
the poster child when I think of like our generation. You know what I'm talking about? Just
Yeah.
like being a little
mean,
bit of a disgrace at the
You want to
end
talk
of
about
their
you want to
career.
talk compare people to Boosie. T.I. is Boosie, but he was just industry and mainstream is most of his career.
Yeah.
But he is Boosie in the
No,
mainstream
I
sense.
do. I put him
He
in
gonna
the
speak
same
his mind. He
same
gonna say what he
category.
gotta say. He gonna do what he do. Had charges, did time for a little bit, came back, bounced back, and went crazy. Like he's the same thing as Boosie, just on the other side of the fence.
No, I agree completely. That's why I tuned the situation out. It's like these two are involved, and
Right.
Charleston White on top of it.
Right.
You
you
already
got
know
any
what it
clips
is.
of this dude talking about him?
Charles, I do have a clip.
Yeah.
You gonna play it?
Yeah, play that shit, man. I love hearing this guy. Any opportunity we get to play some Charleston White
He's
on the
funny, man.
podcast,
He really does love it.
I think, man, this dude is awesome, man.
I think this is a good one. It was a shade
I want
room.
to let you know I done did. I just tagged The Atlanta Police Department, since T.I. son threatened to kick my... I'm a senior citizen. That's a threat, and he left me evidence. Not only did I tag the Atlanta Police Department, I tagged Miss Fannie Willis T.I. I know the same police that arrested Young Thug. Hold on, I'm finna call him right now. I know the same goddamn police officer that arrested Young Thug that's getting out of them. How y'all think I was?
Boy, Charleston White, you was a bitch. He was with him.
Man. These niggas funny, man. That's all we got to do. This ain't nothing great.
Yeah, T.I.'s son got to stay offline. I would have told him never make a video again talking like that.
Yeah.
You
can't be a rapper out here too.
You don't sound tough, my man.
That boy lost.
Yeah.
That boy lost for real.
Yeah.
You can't be no gangster rapper. You grew up in a mansion your whole life.
Nah.
You can't follow in your dad's footsteps. He really went through that. You didn't go through that at all.
Man, the rappers' kids been wilding the last couple weeks. You seen the shit with T.I.? Oh, not T.I. 50 Cent and his son?
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Y'all see that shit? 50 Cent's son said that $6,700 a month isn't enough.
They want enough.
That won't enough?
Yeah. That wasn't even the joint. I wasn't even tripping on that. I was tripping to find out that this motherfucker is 25 talking about child support.
Yeah, right.
Bro, you a whole grown ass man right there, right. Bro. Why is you on the internet talking about child support?
He's like, what if you had nothing and I told you need to start over your life with $6,700 a month? Could you do it? Dude was like, hell yeah. Fuck this whole story.
I'll make that shit work.
Yeah, hell yeah. He was like, no, bro, you don't understand. You don't understand. Man, you're right. Most of America does not understand how you can survive off of $80,000 a year.
Do a lot of things with that $6,700 a month.
And then the guy he was talking to was like, what was your mom doing? Like, was she? If that's 60,
the child support is only supposed to be half of the care.
Right. He was like, that's 6,700 supposed to be like 13 if your mom doing something. He's like, oh well, no, you don't understand. So I'm gonna stop talking. That's why I ain't even want to call you. Like, yo, because he's making some valid points, dog. Like,
that entitlement kind of crazy, man.
You see, he did the little, that viral money thing that everybody was doing before, spelling out words, the money and shit, and he spelled out some entitlement with the money on the floor.
I did see that.
I'm like, yeah, this dude he's lost as well too. He's lost in the world because I'm like, yo, you don't understand what other people actually go through.
Yeah, I think
you have no sense of that.
I think it would actually be hard to be a rapper's kid because they're all obviously spoiled, rotten kids. Like that's how you grew up, but you still want to be like the cool kid as you get older, and like people just don't respect you.
Yeah.
In that same regard, it's like, how do I go get this respect that I'm not gonna go be
especially
broke?
when every time you present it, it's like you're entitled to some type of respect from everybody because you such and such son.
Yeah,
it's like, nah, bro, we don't know you.
Well, nobody.
You're not 50. Like,
people don't respect anything that comes easy. That's just how it is.
You say the same thing for athletes and stuff like that. Athletes' kids,
right?
Like they're gonna have it made their whole lives and stuff. I just think there's like a certain level of like a cool, gotta be tough guy kind of thing that comes with like being a rapper's kid.
Yeah.
That you're just, I can't imagine you're probably.
Oh, you
think well it's like Curry. If Curry was like a shit talker, like and really like let his nuts hang on how he played, people would really not fuck with Curry. But because he's a cool guy, he was a athlete's kid. He grew up in the NBA with his dad in the NBA and shit.
Right, yeah, it's kind of looked at
so
as
it's almost
a
like
positive.
everything was set up for you to be in the league, even if you was too small, like they said.
Yeah.
Type of shit. So,
but
if he was cocky, people would hate Curry. Because you would look like this kid that just had everything handed to you. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, I think like being an athlete's kid, it has like perks to it. Like people expect you like... you've got trainers
your whole
and this
life.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Like,
whereas like the rapper, it's like you're a little pug rich kid, man.
Right.
Shut up.
You're not tough. Like that's what they have to realize. Like, yo, you didn't grow up in the streets,
right?
And if you did, whose fault was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how your life was actually designed.
But that's also like that's what they grew up like seeing. Not like seeing the struggle, but like
the streets was in their household.
Right.
So I mean, I get it from that,
but
you didn't have to do anything.
Exactly. No, it's got to be a weird spot.
You had a really good life.
Yeah, right. I mean, better than most.
Well, what do y'all want to talk about with Kanye?
I mean, we talked a lot about Kanye last week.
We did last week, so feel free to say
He
anything.
did
Did y'all watch any of the
couple more interview
the drink
runs?
champs?
No,
I seen some clips.
I'm not going to.
But it's just
I can't watch a full drink champs. I did watch the first one that he
Kanye's
did.
jumps be like 4 hours.
That shit was 3.5 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is it just got taken down today.
Oh,
I
they
don't
finally took it
have
down.
any interest.
Yeah,
in
I was wondering how long he was gonna keep it up.
I was
Because
wondering that too.
Once he started saying maybe I should take it down, it's like if you're saying maybe I should take
if
it down,
you're
you should probably just take
apologizing
it
for
down.
having him on, then you should have never posted
Well,
this
that's
shit.
we got to set the whole
Nor
thing
fake,
up.
bro. Nor fake
Kanye
for
went
that
on
shit.
Drink Champs for the third time.
Is it the third?
This is the third time. Remember, they dropped 2 last time.
Well, I
This
mean,
was part
I
one
thought
and
that
part
was the
2.
same session though.
It might have been.
Either way,
But they split
second
them
or
up.
third.
It's three different
Right,
interviews.
We're back on Drink Champs.
But he back on there. I seen when they announced it. They announced it the week that all the wild Kanye shit was going down. So I guess
After
he
he
must
had
have just
already
came
got
there.
canceled from a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
Right?
so he must have just came there that week to do this shit because they dropped it the week after that. When I seen him announce it, I was like, oh no, I knew that was Nori about to go straddle the fence. He gonna try to get Kanye on there for them crazy numbers and views.
Definitely.
And Kanye gonna say some wild shit like Kanye gonna do, and he gonna have to pick a side. He gonna have to, cause he gonna get back. It's your show. You doing the interview, so whatever he say, you gotta stand on right there.
I watched like the first 30 minutes of it. I think
The first 5 minutes, Kanye popped off.
it wasn't. It wasn't a show. It was literally just. As soon as the episode starts, it's just Kanye ranting. Like,
Well,
it's no mediation. There's no question asking. This motherfucker is just going. And it can get confusing when Kanye gets into that state because he's just dropping shit and talking about things that you don't like without references to. It's like I don't understand exactly how we got here sometimes. But then when you go back or he'll make a point and you're like, okay, that makes sense. And kind of bring it together, but then he'll be on something else, and he just moves really quickly. I think his thoughts move too fast. But yeah, I mean the first 30 minutes of it, and I didn't watch it anything beyond that. And I guess I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it now. It'll be somewhere on the YouTube, but it's just him ranting the whole time about different subjects and things. So
Like I said, it ain't gonna stop. Kanye running for president again. It's just the beginning. It's only gonna keep heating up. Keep stirring the pot.
I have zero interest in anything that he has to say in general right now.
Yeah.
But being on Drink Champs, I mean, that was my thought going into it as well.
Yeah.
Is Nori's not a guy that's gonna be like pressing him on anything.
Nah.
I don't even care. Like, you knew there was not gonna be any pushback. It was just gonna be like let him kind of go thing. And I don't have any interest in seeing it.
Yeah.
I did see
It
that
was just funny
apology stuff
seeing
today,
how
but-
quickly Nori tried to play both sides. Because he was on Breakfast Club bright and early the next morning.
Yeah,
after we
yeah,
dropped.
yeah.
Called in,
And
right?
Breakfast Club was like 5, 6 in the morning. So you had to be up bright and early to get your fucking apologies off.
He got his
his
shit
line
off.
was getting blown up all night about that shit. So he got on there and said his apologies and all this. And Charlamagne was telling him, I told you shouldn't even dropped it for real.
He did say told him twice.
Yeah, I told you twice. You should just leave that shit alone.
So I told
But,
you
you
twice
know,
not to do that interview.
I mean,
I'm
if I was Nori, I would
was
leave
looking
it
at
up.
the past interviews. That fucking past interviews got like 11 million views or some shit.
Right.
This joint he put out the other day had 2 million in one day. Nori looking at them numbers. Kanye gave him his best numbers, and he had a lot of fucking interviews. Man, Nori's looking for them views. That's all Nori was looking about.
I got zero respect for that.
Yeah, it's kind of sad
Nah.
to see, but you know that's what Nori was looking at. You want
No,
he
it's
knew Kanye's going to say some wild
100%.
shit.
It's the only reason he probably called him and was like, "Hey, you want to come on?"
I don't think he worried about. I don't think he cared about the backlash because you should have known some
He wouldn't
backlash was
apologize.
coming.
If he didn't.
Right, I don't think he cared about the backlash.
That's why I say he playing both sides because he's showing that he cares about the backlash. He coming up, he done took the shit down.
No,
he didn't
somebody
apologize
told
first
him
thing
that
in the
he
morning.
had to take the shit down. Like it's not his platform. What is it? Ain't it posted or he works for?
It's on Revolt, but it
through
is
Revolt.
his. It's theirs. They
Yeah, I
own
mean,
it.
yeah, it's theirs, but I mean, it's posted through Revolt. Somebody told him he had to take the shit down.
But he was
bro.
on Revolt. Had Kanye on Revolt calling Diddy a fed.
Well,
This is Diddy's channel.
yeah, right.
Yo, you know your phone gonna be blowing up.
But
Boy. What you doing?
It's deeper than that, though. I mean, look what he said about the entire Jewish community.
Yeah, it was everybody. Everybody getting shots.
I mean, he was pretty like that's the point he wanted to drive home is that he going to war with the Jews in the entertainment industry. Yeah, I mean he's not gonna win that battle. But I mean he kept on saying they poked the bear. They poked the bear. I mean this is the type of shit people die for or die over. Was the things that he was saying. I mean I don't think that it was all untrue. But just stuff you can't say.
You ain't gotta keep doing it, bro. You ain't gotta keep trying to defend it.
No,
just cause he's doing fuck shit. You ain't gotta keep trying to defend it. And
I don't think we understand
why he doing this shit.
No, I don't think we understand the world that he's in, and of course those are the people that he.
I don't think he understands the world that he's in.
I do. I think. I don't think this whole crazy narrative is true about Kanye. I don't believe that. I think he's maybe unhinged. I guess would be how I describe it. Possibly, yeah, sure.
He's
a lot going on, but I don't think he's crazy.
Yeah,
he's fucking stupid.
Ignorant
if
things.
he's not crazy, he's stupid.
I don't think that either. I just think he's the shit he's saying. I think is some truth to it, or it's a lot of it is. I mean, it's just that he's speaking from a perspective that
I give you a little
we don't really understand
right now, real quick. So after the shirt shit he did with Candace Owens, apparently he about to buy this conservative social network called Parler or something.
Yeah. He's
some undisclosed amount of money.
Apparently already bought it, right?
Yeah, I think he about to buy some type of shit. This is campaign shit. He went for president. It's gonna keep on going. Apparently, the owner of that shit is Candace Owens' husband that he's buying it from. It's all money, baby. It's all money, baby. I give you the look, you let me buy this shit, and it's a trade off. We see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
you don't give a fuck about nothing, man. You don't give a fuck about nothing.
I'm just saying.
He's just doing his thing right here.
I don't think he's crazy though. I don't think he's crazy.
It doesn't matter what he is. I think it's a lot of ignorant things that he's doing. But
I think he's outspoken. I think what he's saying is a lot of what he's saying is true. It's just that you can't say that shit without
you can say it.
Something happening.
His knee won't really on George for his neck like that.
that was
that nigga said that shit with a straight face. His knee won't really on his neck like that. They hit him with the fentanyl. Yeah. Nigga, are you crazy? Nigga, are you crazy?
That was different.
Yeah, you wild.
If you look at it,
I watched the Candace Owens doc about it, and it said they hit him with the fentanyl, bruh. At that point right there, Nori should have just stood up and like, all right, yo, we gotta like, all right.
Yeah, because I don't
think do this right now. But you can't stay there for another 3 hours.
The autopsy came back on that, right? And I mean, there's a reason why the dude is in jail.
That shit crazy.
Yeah, I mean that part, of course, I disagree with. But it's some truth in a lot of the statements that he
neck
made.
Like that. Sure. It won't like that. For real.
They hit him with the fentanyl.
Hit him with the fentanyl.
I'm like, where did that happen in the video? I didn't remember seeing that part of the video.
Yo, this nigga has lost it, bro. That shit crazy. Hey, it is what it is.
He said he dropped the gem that Drake fucked. What's her name? The Kardashians' mom.
Kris Jenner.
Yeah, Kris Jenner. like okay. I mean, why are you telling everybody that? That show was funny.
Oh,
he's a funny dude, but again, he's just.
At some point, it don't be funny no more. Though it just be like, all right, like, what we doing for real?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. He do a good job in making himself look crazy. I don't think he's actually crazy, but he does a good job.
I ain't mad at Nori because I know. I feel like I understand what Nori is in it for, but he knew this backlash was coming, so you got to stand on it. You knew what was coming out for that interview where he got all this heat on him. You know he was gonna go crazy again. So you gotta stand on that. Don't apologize first thing next morning.
Yeah, that's sucker. That's a sucker move. Sucker
can't do that, no.
Yeah, I didn't like that because it's like you know
there. I stand for black people. I'm the blackest of black, and I'm like my song in my heart. He said that shit. I'm like my song in my heart. No, you can't do that now. I fuck with you, I fuck with Drink Chats, but nah, Lord, you can't get on Breakfast Club like that.
Y'all sat there for 3 hours and listened to this shit. Nobody said nothing to stop them at any point. They like, no, go keep going. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Oh, it's going up. Views gonna be crazy on this joint.
y'all having a good time. You talking about, I was a little drunk while.
And the sad thing is, no, he don't have to like. Yeah, he probably got the most off the Kanye joint. But I'll be looking at his interviews. He getting like 2-3 million an interview off anybody that comes just about.
Right.
Like you doing that type of. Well, you ain't got to do
popular.
that. You don't have the result of that. You could have just let that ride and got somebody else in there and did a couple million. So it's just I don't understand it. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
Whatever. Do your thing.
I'm praying for Kanye.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm praying for Kanye,
Heard
bro.
that.
Can we move on?
Pray for Ye.
Pray for Ye. That's
Have my
good.
fun with
Yeah.
it.
Good for you.
Try to make it fun. I'm not getting serious about Ye no more. It's just all I'm gonna get
I
jokes
don't
off.
like the
I'm just gonna
cloud
get jokes
shit.
off.
I don't like it. It's not for me.
Hey. This the
What
guy.
else we got? We got anything else? Oh, music. We go to the Nicki Minaj shit
Sure.
real quick.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
do
let's
that.
do it.
Nicki Minaj nominated for a Grammy, right? For Super Freak.
Super free?
I guess honestly, I didn't know anything about what the award was or whatever.
She was nominated for Song of the Year, right? For Super Freak.
Yeah,
something like
for
that.
a Grammy.
Yeah.
She took to Twitter because.
I got you.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I got the tweet here.
Appreciate it.
She said, "I have no problem being moved out of the rap category as long as we are all being treated fairly. If Super Freaky Girl has to be moved out of rap, then so does Big Energy. Anyone who says different is simply a Nicki hater or a troll. I'd actually love to see a more street record win, male or female. I'm just saying right is right." That was her tweet.
I agree with her though. I don't get why they would move her song into the pop category instead of keeping it in the rap. I mean, it sounds like you're trying to put her at a disadvantage and then put somebody else at an advantage. In
I
that,
thought it'd be the other way around if you put him in pop.
you putting Nicki in the pop category versus pop artists like, I don't know, Adele or.
Should be like facing Song of the Year versus Bad Bunny or some shit.
Right. People that
Like a
she
massive,
can't beat.
massive
You know what I'm saying? Like
artist.
it's almost going to be impossible for her to win in that category versus a Lotto. You know what I'm saying, or something like that. Or what makes her song pop over Lotto's Big Energy song? It's the same. It's got the same producer. It's like literally the same person made the beat.
And both of them are using the old samples.
Both of them using old samples.
Yeah, I
don't know.
I thought what she said made sense, to be honest, because that song is super pop, in my opinion.
Both of them are, yeah.
Right, but
Yeah,
I don't know
consider
any
them-
difference between the other one. The
Yeah,
Big
right,
Energy.
right.
Like I couldn't. I think she has a very good point in that. Once she started talking about you're a hater or a troll, I was like, shut the fuck up. But I think her actual point made sense.
Yeah, I mean, and of course that drove to some drama between her and Lotto on Twitter as well too. Females can't get along, but female rappers can't get along, bro.
Get real catty.
They talk about all this
catty.
fucking female empowerment and shit, and it's like y'all will take each other down if one
It'd
of
be
y'all
funny when
rise
they
too
always
high.
go to, I know such and such wrote this and did that. It's like, yo.
Oh, ready to shit on people. As soon as they find out some information, they're going to take to Twitter and because you always see it like, oh, we was talking privately in the DMs, and now you want to take this. So, yeah, she wants to expose you. That's what females do. They get screenshots and shit.
It was nasty.
So I think that's funny, but I do think these award shows are they're set up. You know, that's how it works.
What's the fact?
I think Hotline Bling won Hip Hop Song of the Year. Yeah, but I mean, if that wins Hip Hop Song of the Year, then why didn't they move that to pop? You know, that's how I felt.
Great question.
That's the most pop record that you'll ever hear from a hip hop artist is Hotline Bling. Don't get more pop than that.
Great question.
Just get rid of the fucking genres, man.
Get rid of the genres. Get rid of the awards. I don't give a fuck about none of it.
I
All the
really don't
rappers
care about
singing,
the
all the
awards.
singers rapping. Like, ain't no categories no more.
Well, you see,
The less categories they have, the less awards they give.
That's a good point.
People would be upset about
Did you
that.
see
They already created a melodic rap category.
Did
That's
they
true.
really?
You could just name
You know
or
what I'm saying?
change the
Yeah,
names
Just
of the
name
categories
shit
a little bit
different.
better.
They need the mumble rap
They
category.
should. No,
in there.
nobody wants to call it that.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's what a
it
melodic
is.
joint is. It's probably what melodic rap.
True.
They just changed
Same
mumble for
category.
melodic.
Drake and The Weeknd are boycotting the Grammys.
I saw that.
They're like no longer submitting music for Grammy review.
I respect that. I respect that as far as like if you actually want there to be a change in the Grammys, like you're gonna need some top dogs to actually try to put
Right,
pressure
biggest
on.
artists in the
Because
game.
those are the guys
But
you
don't-
want at the Grammys.
Right.
You want Drake and Weeknd at the Grammys.
For sure.
Like,
Yeah, if the top 20 top dogs aren't a part of it.
I don't even think these be 20, maybe like 5.
Seriously,
Right.
Because the
To
5 top
start
dogs
to-
are the ones that's getting
Nah.
everything anyway.
No, you're right. To start to
You
feel
get
that
Kendrick,
difference.
Cole, Drake, fucking Weeknd, maybe you get Bad Money in there, somebody, you know what I'm saying? One of those
How the
big
Grammys
names.
looking like double.
If you missing all
double
them
XL
people
in
there,
there, ain't
yeah, it's gonna
the
be looking
freshman
real
class.
light. It's gonna be looking real light. A whole lot
for
of different
sure.
different awards gonna be won.
Agreed.
No doubt.
Yeah, I'm over that topic in general, the awards stuff, but I thought she had a good point on that.
Yeah, definitely.
True
Definitely.
indeed.
We've reached that time. Last part of music here, we're going to do our reaction to new song from Friday. Our man Central Cee from across the pond,
The London Muslim.
the London Muslim.
Huh?
Song is called One Up. Go check it out. Our reaction is coming now.
Hey,
I fuck with Central
Shit
Cee
hard,
heavy, son.
that motherfucker be spitting.
I like this dude.
Yeah, I mean, he can definitely rap. It's something like I normally don't prefer the London accent when I hear rap, but for some reason when he does it, it doesn't bother me.
Oh, really?
And I'm not sure. I've heard
Cause he's spitting for real. You can hear the shit that he's spitting. He like,
Yeah,
this
right.
motherfucker rapping.
Everything's clear
Yeah, this
and
motherfucker's
stuff.
rapping. Right?
It does just take you back real quick for a quick second though. It doesn't
Right,
hit quite
right.
right. When I heard him say trousers on there, I was like, I don't know. just sounded funny when he said
Trousers?
trousers. I don't know.
fuck
But
you
he be
up.
talking about some real street shit on there. Like
Yeah, he
he must have
does.
been a gangster. I don't know if
Right.
he was or not, but he must have been really in it the way he be talking on them tracks.
It sounds like it. Yeah, it sounds like he's it sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, Mansell's
Yeah, I
on
mean-
the road.
He's definitely the man.
Mansell's on the
Well,
road.
he would be the first crossover artist, right? I mean,
Stormzy
You said the first?
Stormzy got pretty big.
I don't know. Who
That's
is.
one of the names I know. Skepta got fairly big. That was kind of when Drake was putting on the London sound.
I've heard of Skepta. I'm not sure if I listened to a lot of or even heard a
Boy,
song.
Gigs is kind of big.
Gigs. I was trying to think there was another one.
He's pretty big.
They're all okay. I think when I heard them, I was just resistant to the British rappers and the drill stuff.
Right.
So for me, I didn't care for them. I like this a lot now. I've warmed up to the drill a little bit when they're not like too crazy off beat. And the London drill, they stay more on beat, at least for what I like to hear. And there is, now that I'm not as resistant to the British stuff, there is just something cool about an accent.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it
I
is,
think
and just
so.
as a listener, it's kind of fun to have to listen through the accent, and then when you're just cracking jokes and hit the chat with, "How can I be homophobic?"
Yeah,
like
right,
it's
right,
just fucking hilarious in an accident, in an
for
accent.
sure. Yeah.
That Top Boy, man. Top Boy changed it, bro.
Top boy.
Top Boy changed
Still
it.
gotta
It
get
brought
to
us
the
into
new
their
season.
world a little bit.
Yeah, I got to get to that.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I
when you
guess
hear
you,
him rapping that
you
shit,
can
it's like,
understand
okay,
some
alright.
of the references.
They really got streets. They got Man's on road. Man's had them knives. They were shaking
Knives.
folks out the motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Them knives shaking folks out there. But yeah, it kind of brings you in. But I fuck with it. I feel like it's been consistently transitioning over a little bit to
the sound in
States.
general.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
of course the sound. Obviously, New York drill is straight from London drill, but just the
not as
artists.
good.
Like we starting to know artist names from over there. When probably
Yeah.
maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, you knew nobody that rapped over there.
No,
I
definitely.
would argue and say. I would say that's. I mean, sans Pop Smoke, he's probably the best drill artist I've heard. Yeah, and I've only heard a couple songs.
You said
What do you
the
think
best-
of that pick? I agree, but
That
you
is
know, I'm
that
not
he's
up
the
on
best
this.
that he heard. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Well,
maybe the best that he's heard.
What would you say in your?
What would you rank him?
I think you could definitely say Pop Smoke is like the king of it for the States
Right.
as far as like New York drill facts. He definitely was that. So yeah, I give him that. I don't know if I would say he was the best at it, but he was the face of it.
Right. No, that's a fair point.
He was
That's a
definitely the
fair point.
face. Like I said that before. You thinking NY drill? You thought of Pop Smoke during that time, especially when he first started to drop.
Who's better? I mean, would you rank Central Cee as the number one guy right now?
He's gonna have Fabio over. I mean, I didn't speak for you, but I did.
I mean,
Am I
who's
wrong?
better?
Who's better than Pop
Not
Smoke?
even say who's bigger
Pop
at
Smoke-
it.
Pop
No,
Smoke
no,
was
not
the
better.
face
But I'm
of
just
it.
saying, like right now, rapping. Who would you prefer to listen to doing drill? Central Cee or Fabio Foreign or any other drill
I would
artist out
probably
there?
Fabio. I think Fabio is the best at rapping on the drill shit.
Okay, I'll just disagree. I think I would rather hear Central Cee.
Central
Of
Cee
course,
is nice. I think he's a better rapper.
Right,
I think he's a
right,
better
right,
at
right. That's
rapping
what
than
I'm saying.
Fabio.
That's what I'm
Facts.
saying.
But I think the way Fabio, what he does his thing on New York drill that's Fabio.
Yeah,
like he has
and
that
that's-
sound. That's his sound.
And that's
You know
going
what
to
I'm
be
saying? Like
completely preference based
Yeah.
when you're getting into like which sound do you prefer.
Yeah, but he's definitely a better rapper than Fabio. I'd say that.
I'm interested to see like some collaborations with Central Cee
I'm sure
and
it'll happen.
Yeah, me
like
too.
just see what
sure
kind
it'll
of
happen.
like unique
It'd be smart too.
sounds we could hear.
It'd be smart too.
You know, him merging with some U.S. artists. So, hey, shout out to him, man.
No doubt. Well, let's get to sports, and I think we could can we knock out basketball real quick?
Yeah,
Right.
for sure. I mean, we want to talk knockouts.
Talk about knockouts.
You want to talk about knockouts?
We did that last week.
Oh, damn, y'all
You
did
missed
that.
that one.
You
You
missed
missed it.
it.
That was a whole.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
Y'all,
happened last
y'all see
week.
was the video out there too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The video just came out
damn.
actually.
Yeah,
we
because
can
it
talk
was
about the
Poole
aftermath.
Tears.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Poole
yeah, the
Tears,
name of the title.
You called
Yeah.
it. You called it finally.
Finally, huh?
Yeah.
But this week, Poole got the big re-up. I don't know what it was. I want to say it was 4 years, 140 million, something
Yep.
like
4
that.
years,
Him and
120, I
Wiggins.
think.
And Wiggins got paid as well, big money.
4 years, 109. I think his is an extension on top.
Both are
of
extensions.
Yeah, both of them were.
Oh yeah, right.
And from what I have been hearing, I thought both of these moves were like, it didn't sound like there was ever a chance where these two guys were getting out of Golden State.
Oh yeah, no.
So I didn't think the contracts themselves were big news, but the luxury tax stuff that you had brought up is very interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
They are going to be so far over the luxury tax, it's insane. And I didn't realize, but the NBA luxury tax works the same as baseball, where if you're a repeat offender for multiple years in a row of going over, the penalty is like multiplied. So next year, 23-24 season, they'll be paying something like $5 for every dollar. And
Sheesh.
they said that the total bill
about
for
inflation.
the roster that they have now, with the salary it will cost plus the luxury tax, they're talking about $500 million next year.
God damn.
So I don't even know what you do with that information. I don't know how that works. The only thing I could find currently about them talking about it is like the GM or owner or whatever said that we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, that's what
Which
that's
is
how,
a
what he's always
crazy
done.
response, in my opinion, that they're just not worried about it at all.
They've always said that they're going to pay the luxury tax if that's what puts them the best team on the
Making a
floor.
lot of money in that tech world in San Fran. A
Yeah.
lot of money.
For sure. I really didn't know. I didn't know that the NBA operated so similar to baseball in the
Contractual
contract stuff and the luxury tax, that kind of thing.
It makes sense though, because they get the most guaranteed money away.
Right.
Right,
It
why
does
not?
make sense. What I was reading today, like all of the top teams that you see rotate in the playoffs every single year are way over the tax.
Yeah.
Like
They
it's
pay.
it's Golden State, LA, Philly, Milwaukee. Like all of the top teams are way over. I didn't realize that, and the only reason I bring that up is this is straight up a situation where if your team sucks in the NBA, it's because you're not spending.
Right.
The teams that are afraid to go over the luxury tax or don't want to from a business standpoint are the ones that you see at the bottom of the league.
I mean that, and where these locations at. We're talking about LA. We're talking about Philly. I mean, I guess Milwaukee gonna be one of them, but you know Milwaukee gonna be in the mix for a chip. Fucking.
But all these
New
owners got the money,
Orleans?
though.
I mean, New Orleans might be a different one, but I'm trying to think of other teams that people probably want to play. Indiana.
Yeah.
People don't want to play at these places.
Well,
you know what I'm
people
saying?
want to
You're
play
talking about
anywhere that they
drawing
can.
interest.
Yeah. I
Anywhere,
feel like if
right.
they wanted to come, they would pay. If people wanted to come there,
I think that's a fair point to take into consideration that it would be harder to get somebody to come as a free agent to Utah. But my point
Yeah.
is
exactly. See how they shipped everybody off.
the owners that aren't spending they're the ones that are losing. There's plenty of guys in the NBA that you could overpay to get them to come, but those the bad teams are not willing to go over the luxury like that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Like, you're getting penalized massive amounts of money. I'm just saying, if you look at the top teams in the league in the NBA, they're all way over the luxury. So if you're a fan of an NBA franchise, your team is not willing to go over the luxury, just be aware that that's probably not going to be a championship contender. Same in baseball.
Makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
But
Do you think that ever changes though? To like, in hopes to like increase or create more parity in the league?
I don't think that it should. I like the soft cap.
I mean, because that way,
that's the best way.
The same good teams are going to be good every year, right? I mean, that's the same thing with baseball, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
To an extent, yeah.
Like the bad teams in baseball have been bad teams for like 20 plus years, right? Or maybe I don't watch baseball, so I don't know.
It's hard to say because every league has their upper tier of like top run franchises.
Right, for sure.
But there's like in baseball, the Astros are the example. The Astros did what Philly did, the Sixers, where they completely tanked for 4 years in a row. And they got the best player over and over and over again. And the Astros have been arguably the best team in baseball for the past 5 years, combined.
Yeah.
But there is a rebuild process, but you have to rebuild and then be willing to spend, which I think is also what Golden State did. Because Golden State was not a perennial powerhouse until they started to build properly. And one of the things I was reading a lot about is the owner is furious about the luxury tax from the standpoint of they've paid their guys that they brought. Wiggins is somebody they traded for, but Poole, Curry,
that's
Thompson,
true too, that's
and Green
are
all homegrown guys that he had to pay to keep. And he says there shouldn't be a penalty for homegrown talent that way.
I agree with that though.
So that'll be something they have to figure out next CBA, which is
I mean, it's
due
easy to say now
after next
that
year.
you have probably some of the best guys in the league, but he wouldn't have had that argument when he first got him. Like when he first drafted him.
No,
like,
but he wasn't
that
over
great.
the luxury at that point either.
I mean, yeah, true.
But I mean, I've always like thought of that, like just comparing it to football. I know it's completely different, but I always felt like a football player that you like drafted in the first round and you retained shouldn't hit your cap as hard as you getting a free agent out there. I just feel like that because I mean that's just great scouting and development at that point. I feel like the team should be rewarded for something. Or giving back something for that, or especially like you should have one player that you drafted that doesn't count against the cap or something like that. I think that's just fair.
Cool. Well, I think the one thing, so the NBA tried to implement that rule where you can get more money as a player if you stay with your home franchise. They can offer the largest max.
For you to get a re-up, they can offer you the biggest max.
So they put in rules on purpose trying to get guys incentive to stay. Mm-hmm. But this is kind of the back end of it. Where it worked properly, you could say, with the Warriors. But now they're paying top dollar because all of those guys were able to get more than what they would have been able to sign for with the Lakers. Yeah. So I understand his point. Ultimately, it's a CBA thing. All the stuff that I've seen is he's not concerned with it. So if he's not worried about them being that far over, I would ask, why should anybody else?
Right.
If he's got the money, he's willing to spend it. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
And I could be wrong about this. I was really trying to read up before we started. But I believe I saw that the luxury tax gets dispersed amongst the other teams that did not go over.
Oh, wow.
So there is still a benefit to... That kind of plays into the argument that I was saying earlier, where these guys, some of these owners, I don't want to say all of them, but some of them are known to not spend. They're looking at the team as an investment. Their investment in the team is continuing to go up. They don't give a fuck if they
every
win.
year they're getting money on top of money.
Yeah, forget the loss. I got the Warriors giving me $20 million next year just for being around.
Right, for sure. So I mean that makes a big difference in thinking.
Hell yeah,
in that regard. But I mean nobody wants to be a loser.
Cash cow on the team.
Yeah, for real.
Got loyal fans everywhere.
Does this mean that Draymond's is? I mean, his time. I know this narrative's been floating out there. But Draymond's time was limited anyway, right? I mean, he wasn't staying with the Warriors past this current contract that he was on.
I think if they could keep him, they would want to. But they have him for this year, possibly next.
I'm not sure.
I think there's a player option that he can pick up next year. But whenever his contract runs out, I think they will be at a point where he's in the back end of his career.
Yeah.
And it's either time for you to take a cut to stay with us or we let you walk. And it's unfortunate, but just kind of a business.
Yeah.
So after next year, I think we'll find that out.
Yeah, for sure.
How y'all feel about Draymond not getting no suspension for this thing? He just got a fine and he'll be playing the first game. I think he played the last.
It's an in-house problem.
Yeah, I don't care if that's all copacetic within the team. Then it is what it is. But
Poole's definitely.
I seen that Poole interview.
He definitely.
That motherfucker don't like that shit.
Well, I mean, I
He didn't really
think
say nothing about it, but his energy was like, "Yeah, we just gonna move on. We just trying to hang another banner." Just real real dry. What you supposed to say type shit, but it was just like. He still feel a way about that shit, bro.
Yeah. You could definitely tell he felt a way about it.
Yeah.
But first of all, he just got paid $35 million a year. He ain't gonna make no gripe about that shit.
Yeah.
He gonna do whatever it needs to do
But it's still
for the team
shit
to
like,
win.
I don't think this
But
shit,
they don't
this
like
shit
it.
gonna go away.
It's clear he doesn't look at Draymond as any kind of like brother or anything like that on the team. Like that's clear. They just gonna do what they need to do to win games.
You being a professional, but
Right.
I wouldn't expect anything more than that. It happened a week ago.
Yeah, it should just happen.
Less than a week ago. That could be 100% true, and his feeling may never change.
Right.
But
I mean,
a month from now, if they're up, they're 25-1 or something, 25-4 or something like that. Winning fixes everything.
They'll be celebrating.
We can just set it to the side. We don't have to be best homies.
You go on a little 3-4 game losing streak though.
For sure.
Motherfucking frustrations will start sparking.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't
want to
see
be the
it.
first to go in this situation.
I mean,
now,
it.
of course, like if anything were to like tensions arise and stuff like that, Draymond would be the first to go.
Everybody keeps saying
I
they'll
don't
keep
think anybody's
Draymond over
going.
at Poole. I'm like, no, they pay Poole that bag.
I don't think anybody's going anywhere.
They
I
ain't
mean,
gonna
probably
let
not.
him
But I'm
go.
just saying
Not
if
till
things were
contract's over.
to happen again like that,
Yeah.
then Draymond would be out of here.
Fair enough. We shall see.
Yes, indeed.
Tomorrow night, kick off the NBA season. We'll be covering some basketball, I'm sure, throughout the next couple of
Excited
weeks.
about that.
But we're relatively short as far as we go an hour on football a lot of times. So
Yeah.
I don't think I got an hour of football talk.
we're good because we don't have it.
Yeah. I don't
But
think I
let's
have
go
it.
ahead and get to it. Let's get to the football games this week.
Let's do it, man.
The most
Week 6.
anticipated game of week 6 was Sunday at 4:30.
Yeah.
Bills Chiefs. I thought it lived up to expectation in that it was a great game. It was a little bit disappointing that they weren't scoring points like crazy.
Yeah.
But as soon as kind of the first drive for both teams happened and they both turned it over in the red zone, it was
You see how
kind of realized it wasn't going to be a 30 or 30.
Tony Romo stole your glory.
What did he say?
He called the 24-20
I
during
did
the
see
game.
that. I did see that. Hey, good for him. But Moss could tell you I was over at his house earlier that day.
Yeah.
I said, it's not going to be low scoring, but if we get a 24-20, I'm going to be a little bit irritated.
Right.
That's what happened.
Exactly what the fuck.
Second week in a row, I got a projection.
Oh, well, you got to start betting on that, man.
Put those in.
I should have. Well, the other one was the rule firing, so I couldn't.
Oh,
couldn't
right,
put on that bet.
right,
but
right. Gotcha.
I'm on to something with the NFL. What were your takeaways from this game, though?
Just that Bills are the real deal. I mean, I know
Defensive
we've already known
standstill.
this or whatever. It's so easy to pick your favorites and stuff
Right.
at this juncture of the season. But it's just hard not to look at it and say, like, the Super Bowl is really painting to be an Eagles-Bills Super Bowl. I mean,
I put that bet in today.
right? It's hard not to see that. I mean, and I get that football is like the hardest sport to telegraph, like who's going to be
100%.
at the end of the road.
Hey, what if Josh Allen gets hurt next week?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's
could be
so
totally
many
different.
factors into what makes a good football team.
Yeah.
But looking at it right now, it's just like, man, who's stopping these guys? And they've been impressive. I think the knock on Josh Allen that I brought up before was him not being able to win one-score games. He's done that in the last two
weeks
out
in a
of
row,
three.
right?
Well, no,
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
Ryan said that he did it twice.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah,
was like a couple weeks ago
right.
he
So-
said
It really
that shit.
was.
Okay, so that's no longer a point.
Yeah.
These are games that also he had to come back at some point
Right.
to do so. So
First time beating Kansas City in Arrowhead.
Oh, was it? It's a
see-
hard venue to play in.
Did you see his numbers against Kansas City?
No, I don't think I did.
In 3 games, it was a total of 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, his
1,000
numbers was
yards,
crazy. They was always
something
crazy
like that.
games.
It was over 300 yards every game. 2 games with 3 touchdowns and 1 with 4.
Don't he already got like 2,000 yards on the season?
Probably.
Something like that. He got like
Probably.
2,000 passing yards
Probably
on the
close
season.
to
That's
it.
all they do is pass the ball, so it's not like
Yeah.
it's hard to believe.
Yeah,
But we're like-
1980. You right there.
Yeah, I was about to say,
1980. In
what?
6
That's
weeks.
six
17
games?
touchdowns.
Dog, that's nuts. You can almost triple that.
Yeah,
like on
yeah.
projection wise.
Right.
It's almost
right.
looking at 6,000 yards with the
Yeah.
extra game figured in. But
That'd be crazy.
yeah, them boys are for real. I honestly took away, I thought it was I was impressed with Kansas City. I don't want to say it was a good thing or a win, whatever they call it. It was a
so?
moral victory. But I think their defense is much better than last year.
Yeah, it was looking good for the first half.
That Jones is
For
a
sure.
menace. I know he was there before, but
Chris Jones?
every time I see him, every time I watch them play this week or this year, it seems like he's just constantly in the backfield.
Yeah.
That's what he does, man.
Yeah, he's
That
a
dude's-
problem.
he's like that. Yeah,
He's a
he
problem.
knows.
But I thought overall, I think their defense looks solid. And
They got a young linebacker there that's playing like they haven't had like a really good inside linebacker
What's his
in a
name?
while. Bolton. He's
Okay.
from Missouri, I think.
got you.
That's where he played. But
Led
he-
them in tackles.
Well,
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
and
he's a good
they've
player.
kind of answered all the questions about the offense thing. As far as like coming into the year without Tyreek, they clearly are fine.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about them at all. Looking at it right now, I think of course they'll meet again. And
It's just in
we'll see.
perspective. They had Valdez Scantling go off last week. He didn't do nothing in this game, and then they had Juju go off in this game, and he hasn't done nothing all season yet. So it's like
pick
if
your
you got
poison.
guys that could just go off on any given game, Hardman,
I was gonna
Kelsey,
say, you're gonna get a Hardman game.
yeah, Hardman game, Juju, Valdez Scantling. You still got McKinnon, who's a fucking speed demon.
Oh, we
running back.
didn't, and we didn't get to last Monday before we recorded. Was that game? So last Monday was Oakland KC Monday night, where
yeah,
Kelsey
yeah.
caught 4 touchdowns.
That was a big game. He did catch
Right,
4.
yeah.
That
4
game was
touchdowns.
crazy. 30-29. I couldn't
Any
remember
given week,
anything
they got
from the
5
game.
guys that can give you a game like that,
Yeah.
which is
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, it's just not fair, man. Those 2 teams, I hope to see them in the AFC Championship, to be honest.
Yeah, everybody wants that rematch.
Yeah.
I think that's
Unless we
they're
have something to
clearly
do
the
with it.
best 2 teams.
Zappe. Oh, my bad.
We'll get to old Zappy. I think the Eagles-Cowboys could be the NFC final.
Really?
I do.
I think
Eagles, Cowboys.
Eagles-Cowboys was a Sunday night game. I think the
see this
Cowboys
weak-ass
are
NFC real
legit.
quick.
The NFC has 4 teams with a winning record right now.
that's it.
4 teams.
Giants.
And 3 of them
Dallas.
are in the NFC East.
Yep.
Yeah. And the Vikings.
And the
is
Vikings
second.
the Vikings are 5-1. That's another team. So I'm just saying,
Yeah, I mean,
Cowboys
looking at it,
defense
right.
is legit, and I think Dak is better than people give him credit for. Why couldn't they be the second best team in the NFC? Would be my question.
I mean, I get that, and
they
of
are.
course, when Dak comes back, we'll see what it looks like. I think they certainly should improve offensively. So, yeah, I mean, defense is legit. I think they lead the NFL in sacks. To me, Michael Parsons is probably the top 3 defender in the NFL.
Yeah.
They got a great corner. So I mean, I don't know. I think that's not a hot take. I wouldn't say at this point.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I think we did. We were being a little bit extra last week, talking about the quarterback controversy, because it's fun to do.
Yeah.
But Cooper stunk it up.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
stunk it up in the first half.
Shit's
He had a
done.
solid second half. To be completely honest, I didn't realize how low his statistics ranked, even
Yeah,
during
he
their win
wasn't
streak.
doing nothing.
I honestly
Yeah.
didn't realize that he was really just
Literally a
completely
game
game
manager.
managing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but-
people take that shit too far when you're on a win streak.
for sure.
5-0.
You're-
Can't stop the rush.
If your backup quarterback got to play more than 3 games, you're gonna feel that shit eventually.
Yeah.
They can put the
Yeah.
makeup on for
It's
a
only a
little
matter
bit.
of time.
Yeah, right,
It's only a
right.
matter of
But
time.
eventually, like that tape is out there now.
Yeah.
First game, you can surprise some teams with some cute shit. Second game, you might can roll out something based off of that cute shit that you did. By the third game, teams know what's up. And it's gonna be challenging at that point.
So 5 of them.
He threw multiple picks. He threw multiple balls that could have been picked. He looked really bad.
Yeah.
And then it looked like once Philly dominated and took the lead, they seemed like they let off the gas and kind of made it close towards the end. But it never really looked like they were going to lose that game.
The thing that I'm impressed by with Dallas is how well Zeke looks right now. Like he
does
looks
look
good. If they can get Zeke running healthy and being like fast, quick, and have like a burst to the hole, then they definitely have a shot at making a run for sure.
How long do y'all think Philly gonna? Well, of course, I think they're gonna lose eventually. But how long do y'all think they're gonna keep getting these wins?
Their next game is a
merely
win.
just being a running team.
I'll tell you, their next game is a win.
Yeah, have you peeped their schedule? On a look
They
ahead.
got a bye week coming up.
They do got a bye.
Their schedule
After
is,
the bye week, they got to win.
Their schedule is weak, son.
He was like, yo.
Yeah, I realized. I just now realized why they were. All right, this is their schedule moving forward. Reading through it quick: Steelers,
God.
Texans, Commanders, Colts. They're not losing any of those games. Packers, Titans, Giants, Bears, Cowboys, Saints, Giants. I expect they're
These
going to lose.
motherfuckers might win out.
I expect they're going to lose a game,
They're gonna
probably
lose a game.
two. But
no,
look at that schedule. You couldn't
It does
pick one
look
out.
weak, but this is why I bring up this question. Hurts is barely getting 200 passing yards a game. I think he had 155 for that game
But they
yesterday.
running the ball.
They
on
running the
people,
ball
though.
like a motherfucker.
They running the ball. On
How long do y'all think that lasts in this passing league?
I think you
Go ahead.
can do that. I think I think Hurts has had games where he's put up some pretty good passing statistics. So I don't think the Eagles have a weakness with their game offensively or defensively. I think they're good in all areas, at least good or great in pretty much all areas. So I think what they're doing right now is certainly sustainable for the future. So yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I agree with Carl, and I think it's because I don't think they can't pass.
Yeah.
I think they're imposing their will, and we're just gonna dominate you on the run. But like Carl said, he had a couple of games early in the year over 300 yards passing. That's actually the first game he had under 200 passing, and they were up so much. I don't put a lot on it, so
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Because he got all the fucking weapons.
Yeah, he's got
Like,
he's got
dog.
guys out there.
You got an arsenal out that joint, so it's
Yeah, I
like
think he'll be all right. But I mean, what are they 6-0 right now?
Yeah,
6-0.
7-0 in the books. And so I mean, we just 10-0, very possible. Highly
think so.
likely at this point. So
I'm gonna put him at 15-2.
Keep down on your boys. Your boys came off a big win this weekend.
He's trying to lure
I'm
us
trying
in.
to down like, oh,
Don't
we're
take-
definitely losing next week.
Don't take the bait. He's trying to lure us in
Yeah, I
right
see
now.
what's going on.
We're gonna get to your Steelers because it was a big upset. Before that, Jets, Giants, Vikings. Those are three teams that mentally I don't know if I can ever think that these teams don't suck.
Big early game upsets.
But their records say that they don't suck.
Jets are fucking 4-1.
Jets are 4-1.
Are they
Vikings
4-1?
are
Yes.
Vikings are 5-1.
they only lost one game. I thought they lost 2 games.
Oh, they're 4-2. My bad.
I was gonna
All
say
right,
unless
all
they had a
right.
bye,
My
they
bad,
would have
my
had.
bad.
But even
I thought it
4-2,
was 4-1. The 4-2 is still good.
for the Jets, and the coach has them looking like they believe. Same
Yeah.
shit for the Giants.
They hung up 40 on the Dolphins last week.
Who's that? The Jets.
Jets.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I have a hard time believing these teams are good, but their records say otherwise. What do we think?
I do believe in the Giants. I think they've just played with a grit.
Jets,
Like-
Giants. Who was the third one you said?
Vikings.
The Vikings.
The Giants are they're playing with like they're gonna make it ugly.
I agree.
But I mean, whatever that's the style in which they need to play. But they play hard, so I believe.
I think we talked
in
about
what
this
they're
last
doing
week.
right
How
now.
long are we going to respect it? You got to respect it the way they did Lamar.
Yeah, for sure.
They was on Lamar's ass.
I think they're the most likely to drop off, to be honest with you. Just because I feel like they're stretched thin to be able to get where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Barkley misses any time, I can't imagine them winning games.
Right.
I mean, you could say that about a lot of teams. I don't think they have much flexibility to be able to keep winning. I think they're benefiting a little bit from being in the NFC, and they are playing super gritty. But they're the team that I would expect to fall off at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I can't buy into anything Kirk Cousins. I think that they'll probably finish off
I
with
would
a
say
decent record.
Kurt and the
but-
Vikings will probably fall at least in that. And they 5-1, but we've seen them fumble shit every year.
Yeah, I
like,
think
we've
that-
seen them have these little streaks where they looking good.
They don't have a good record.
At least the last 3-4 seasons, it's been the same shit. They get some big wins early, and then they just fall off the rails and be who they are.
It's just hard to see when do they fall because division-wise, Detroit and Chicago are terrible. And the Packers have looked awful for 2 or 3 weeks in a row now. I mean, they're getting to a point at 5-1. You start to build a big enough lead, and they don't even have to be that great.
And they already beat the Packers.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. But I certainly don't trust Cousins.
They can get in. I just don't think
playoff
they're
time
like somebody to be feared in the playoffs, even if they do get in there.
100%
You know what
agree.
I'm saying?
What about the Jets? Do you think they have a legitimate playoff run in them? Or are they...
They're not going to make the playoffs, I don't think. But I think they are a young, up-and-coming team.
So
I like
the
what
AFC
they're
East looking kind of heavy right this year.
It's starting to.
It's looking kind of heavy.
It's starting to.
Shit.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. But I do like the pieces that the Jets have. I think that, like I said, Sauce Gardner, I think he's going to be a great corner. He's pretty much got every attribute that you could want in a cornerback. I think
metrics too, boy.
I think as long as Zach Wilson stays healthy, he's going to be a quality quarterback. I think Breece Hall is a pretty good
Hall's
young
nice.
running back too. So
A lot of young guys.
I think they got a lot of young pieces.
Sauce
But
Gardner?
all of those, like when you have that many young pieces, especially in football, you can't count on the team to go far.
Right.
They're going to hit a wall at some point.
Major
and-
growing pains. at
Right.
some point.
But I think they're going to be much improved for sure.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they already are. I mean, so yeah.
True indeed.
I don't really have a particular order on this. Why don't we go ahead and get into the big upsets? Jets over the Ravens.
Yeah.
No, Jets over the Packers.
Just
Giants over the
Packers.
Ravens.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, mixing up New York.
New York teams, yeah.
Jets was a big upset as well.
New York up right now.
Giants.
That's crazy.
Falcons beat the hell out of the Niners.
Yeah.
That was an upset, at least in the way that they did it. But
Yeah.
Steelers Bucks was the game of the week, upset wise. I'm pretty sure y'all had the biggest spread. Y'all were
yeah,
massive
minus
underdogs.
10-point underdogs,
Yeah,
I think, at kickoff.
And I don't even.
That's the biggest underdog that Steelers have ever been at home.
I was say at home too.
Ever.
I would have 100% been on y'all getting the points, except I saw Minka was out.
Oh no.
I saw Minka
No.
and Watt were out. I was like,
No.
yo, no matter how well Pickett could ball out and say the offense clicks, there's no way that the Bucks can't score enough to win this
But, bro,
game with those two guys
It
out.
wasn't just that though. Like, of course, Minka is huge.
Yeah,
of
those
course,
are the
T.J.
guys.
Watt is huge. But the Steelers' entire starting secondary was out. We didn't.
Really?
We didn't have a starting corner on the field. Every corner we
Get the
played
fuck
was
outta
either
here.
undrafted or a practice squad guy.
You know, I did hear that actually in the game, and then one of the guys that you started went down early in the game too, didn't he?
I think he came back.
Okay.
He did. He came back. He had like a stinger or something in his
Gotcha.
shoulder.
But at that
that's
point,
one of-
you're
that's one of
taking
the
him
guys.
off to put on a practice.
Yeah,
squad,
right. Yeah. That's one of the guys that none of these guys would start on anybody's roster. The only starting player that we had out there was Terrell Edmonds. Shout out to him, Danville boy, 434. You know, we in the house. But anyway, so at that point, I'd already accepted the loss.
Right.
You know, I'm like, all right, I just hope we go out here and play a competitive game. That's all I wanted. Just don't get fucking throttled like you did last week. And, you know.
Yeah, you missed being here for that one. God damn, boy.
Well, look, I mean, for context, the Bills have rolled a few teams already. Don't forget what they did to the Rams week 1
Sure.
and to Tennessee. So, I mean.
the Rams suck,
look,
though.
The Steelers aren't as good as either one of those teams. So,
Fair point.
let's just be
I would say
real.
y'all got better defense than those teams, but
Not anymore. Now what we're putting out in the field right now.
Not with yesterday's team.
Yeah, so and then like Minka played that entire game, right? But anyway, let's talk about the Bucks game.
Well, no, about that, we'll be on the other side of the blowouts past couple weeks.
Yeah, so, we're not talking about you guys right now, okay? But I mean, I think the story was more about how terrible Brady was than anything else. Yeah, Brady was awful.
He looked bad.
He missed several wide open targets to Chris Godwin on third downs. I think he started off the game. He was like 3 of 10 or something. I was like, oh shit! Like, and then I wasn't looking at it like, oh, the Steelers are locking him up. Like, oh no, he's missing throws. Yeah. Like, it was some times where he was under duress, but he had plenty of time. Like people were saying, like the Steelers are in his face and all that. No, they really won't. The pass rush got to him a couple times, but other than that, he had time in the pocket to make some throws, and he just wasn't making them. He was, really, really bad throughout the entirety of the game. He had some Brady-like moments, but that's about it.
No, I agree completely. When I finished watching the game, I was like, that's the kind of win that Tomlin get. That you have to have a coach like Tomlin to get.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Just the fact that y'all were such underdogs and all the injuries that you're talking about. Most coaches, I don't think, have a team ready to play in that game. And Tomlin did. So you got the dub. He deserves a lot of credit. But I agree with you, Brady. Do you think at this point Brady and Rodgers both wish they didn't come back this year?
Of course you can say that right now. But nah, I think they wanted to be where they at.
Think so?
I mean, of course they didn't want to be losing. But I think they wanted to be back.
I think Brady just got a lot of other shit going on outside of football, and I don't think that's been the norm for him.
Divorce court.
You know, I'm not gonna say that the whole because he went to Kraft's wedding, and he skipped the walkthrough practice. I don't think that had much to do with it. I just think this guy got a lot going on. He does normally have a routine. And I think some things probably his routine has probably changed a bit, and makes sense. I think he's frustrated, and you could tell. Like you saw him yelling at his linemen, like they won't play it fantastic now. They were getting beat on some 1-on-1s and stuff like that. But Brady was playing like some ass, dog, and he was really blaming them for everything.
You guys are like, fucking better than this.
Yeah, they didn't even give up on a pressure or anything that drive. Brady just like literally missed the throw. He didn't get sacked or anything after that drive. And he literally just missed some throws and went and screamed on him for it. I'm like, yo, this dude that's frustration.
Yeah, he's frustrated, bro.
And it's more than about like the game frustration. This is internal.
Yeah,
you know,
no, clearly.
Yeah,
clearly.
So I think it's deeper than that. And
that's why I think both of them at least have some regrets. I understand they want to play football. I'm not saying like if they could change it all over, they may still do the exact same. But I think both of them are aware that they're at the end of their careers. And, you know, there was all kinds of talks about, are these guys going to hang it up or not? I don't think the competitive drive within them let them do that. They said, I want to come back. Let's do it one more time. And now that they've come back, Rodgers is seeing how much of a mess they've got there without Devontae, which you can make massive
all these
arguments.
young players around him.
You can make big arguments that he caused the departure of Devontae with his new contract. You can make at least that argument. And I think the same thing with Brady. I think he thought this was like, I'm not ready to hang it up, and now it's terrible.
You can expect, I guess, the shit that's going on outside of divorce and all that.
I think you can. I think that's what caused the divorce, personally.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, she said, okay, fine, I'll let you keep coming back a couple more years. And eventually she was like, all right, yes, you finally retired. And he's like, nah, I think I want to go back again. I'm not doing this anymore.
I agree that caused the divorce, but I don't think he expected that to happen as the season started.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like at the time,
that's why I'm asking you, think he has regrets now? And
but
I think he does.
For a while, for years now, I've always said Tom Brady is not going to stay out there till the game is ripped from him. He's going to just walk out on his own stuff. I think at this point they're going to have to take the game from Tom before he steps away. At this point, because you just keep coming back. Like, why do you keep coming back? You have no reason to come back still, besides that you over obsessed with the game.
Yeah.
At this point in your life, I mean, you're 45 years old, man. You've done everything you could possibly do in this league. What are you doing?
I just can't help but think of it like, look, anybody that gets divorced, there clearly was not, like, this isn't the first issue that they had or something like that. I'm not seeing this rose-colored glasses, but it would be a shame, like, 10 years from now, if I'm him. It would be a shame to look back and be like, I had the greatest career anybody could ever ask for. Mm-hmm. I retired, and just because I couldn't give up the game and had to get one more year back, I end up with a shitty final season and lose my family. Yeah. Like, that's just, there's got to be some.
On the flip side, I think Brady's going to be up when he retires. Brady is going to be a billionaire when he retires. I think it's a factual thing that's going to happen.
He's going to be rich regardless.
He's going to be up. So if he lost his family because he's going to lose his family. So it's
that's fucked
Was
up.
it worth it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth it. But yeah, like I said, he stunk that game. He was not good. It wasn't much of what the Steelers were doing. It was just that, like I said, you can call it age, you can call it the divorce shit, whatever. But yeah, Brady wasn't a good player.
At the same time, I'm still not counting out the Bucks making a little run in the second half of the season. Like,
I told you I was out on the Bucks when the season started. And
I still been on this train. I still am on the train where I don't think they're that great, but I do expect they'll make a run as well.
Just the way the NFC is lined up.
NFC's weak,
true.
son.
They can definitely be a wild card.
Three of the best teams is in the same division.
That's
so
true.
Some of them can't make it.
Look,
they all can make it though.
Tampa's a division winner.
Can they? Is that a possible thing?
3 teams can make the playoffs from the same division. It's happened to the AFC North a few times.
2 wild cards.
Oh yeah, true. That's true.
What was I gonna say? Honestly, I don't remember.
NFC something. I don't know.
Yeah, it couldn't have been important. We're running really low on time here. The last real point that I had written down was your boys, the New England Patriots. I specifically am curious about a quarterback controversy that may be going on sometime soon, but you feel free to talk about whatever you need to.
I'm fucking with Zappe. 2 wins, first 2 starts, got some dubs.
Why are you saying his name like that, bro?
What, Zappe?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Zappe?
Is it not Zappe? Zappe?
I think it's Zappe. That's
Zappe.
how I've heard it.
Call him Zappe.
You put a little,
you gotta put a little twang on that.
Put a little Mbappe
You gotta put a little twang on that.
Central
No,
Cee
it's
on it or
Zappe
something.
now. It's Zappe out here now. Because he out here doing his thing.
Mbappe.
He looked good. Defense looks extraordinary again for another week. I fucking love it. They're doing big things right now. I don't think it's a quarterback controversy, but I get it. But this is like the Rush thing. It's only a matter of time before the rookie is going to play like a rookie. He's still a rookie. Got some good dubs that I think is more so on how great the defense has been than Zappe. But, I don't think there's no controversy at all. Mac should be back next week.
Yeah, I don't actually know if there is any controversy. I haven't watched any, so I don't even know if he's I test his play.
You love to see your third string come in and get 2 wins.
Can run an offense. He's a smart dude, but he's just super limited. He's short. He doesn't have great arm strength or nothing like that. He doesn't have a talent that you say except for being able to, of course he's talented enough to be an NFL quarterback. Not saying that, but
pretty good talent.
He's just a limited player athletically and stuff like that.
It's only a matter of time.
I do think Mac is going to get back in the lineup, but they're doing everything you need to do to protect the young quarterback, and he's playing well within that scheme. They're playing with the lead. From that standpoint, you just build a player's confidence that way,
exactly.
and you're playing with a league. You're playing in a system designed to kind of protect them from making mistakes and stuff like that, running the ball. They're just doing the
obviously
little
they had
things right.
confidence in him because they could have started Hoyer again. It was
he's good to go again.
Yeah.
I forgot he got hurt
last week, but he was cleared, and they still went with Zappe. So they had confidence in him. He did what he had to do. Got 2 dubs back to back. I like it. Almost had 3 if we would have got that one over the Packers 3 weeks ago. But we looking good. We in the mix again, baby. Shit. Mac come right back in.
Pat's 3-3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mac come right back in. We got the Bears next week. If Mac come back and get another dub, we'd be 4-3. We in the mix.
Well, you ain't got to have a good defense to stop the Bears.
You really
They're going to stop themselves.
It's a good confidence booster.
The Bears make me look at the Steelers offense and say, we ain't doing too bad.
You know what you should do? Yeah. You should watch that team down in Carolina. You want to see a bad offense. I've never seen a worse offense in my life.
It ain't worse than the Bears, though.
No, it is.
Well,
right now?
No, it is.
Right now? We got PJ Walker back there. He had 40 yards passing.
Oh shit!
He threw like 14 times. Like he completed the majority of his passes, and he finished with 40-something yards. I swear to God.
Yo, that's nuts to end with 40 yards. So he played the whole game?
It might have finished with a few more. I don't honestly know, but it was late in the game. He had 40 yards. Either way, we're not talking about the Panthers.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It is going to be interesting.
Panther shopping motherfuckers.
Remember a few weeks ago, you was like 250 is the average.
That should be the bar.
250 should be the average.
I'm just saying that should be the bar.
I tried to
like,
tell him he didn't
You
realize.
guys can't tell you
quarterback-
40 yards for
I'm
the
just
game.
saying, look, if your quarterback can't
60.
get 250 in a
60
game,
is still crazy.
10 for 16 for 60 yards.
well,
That's
I mean,
crazy.
Pickett had like 62 yards when he went out the game. So
Either way, it is what it is. Robbie Anderson threw a fit on the sideline.
He did.
He
really
was,
want the boxes coach, bro.
He was in coach's face once or twice. He went away, sat away from the team, and then circled back around, and like you could see him say something to the coach and then keep walking.
Like, yo, shut
a
up,
big
bitch ass
fucking
nigga.
tough guy. That's exactly what he said. Something like that. Head coach told him, get the fuck out of
The
here.
interim coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to the locker room. You're done. I was honestly hoping they
Traded
cut him
them
this
boys
morning.
swiftly.
The
I was
next
excited
day,
to
it was
see that
quick
they
with
traded
it.
him. Yeah. He's a Temple guy. Matt Rule has been his coach for forever. So he's a Matt Rule guy.
Oh, okay.
It was
So maybe
I was
frustrated with
kind
that.
of
Yeah.
understood that once Rule was fired that he would be a trade candidate because he may be able to get some sort of return and because he was brought in by Rule specifically for that.
Okay.
So have
That makes sense.
no concerns seeing him leave. I'm just very worried at this point that they're going to trade Burns, and I'll cry. I think I mentioned
Him
to you
and
last
McCaffrey,
week.
right?
Yeah.
I think they should trade McCaffrey. All love to Christian McCaffrey. Nothing but respect for the guy. Hope he does well. But
It's nothing that he
they're
can do.
not any good,
Right,
and they're not
right.
going to be for at least a couple of years.
McCaffrey will be
May as
maxed
well
out
get
by
rid of
then.
him.
Yeah.
If somebody will give up something nice, then that's cool. But his contract's too big to get much in return. What I'm hearing is Burns is the guy that could get a very high draft pick, and
Of
I
course.
don't want them to move on him. He's really the only one I'm concerned with. I don't want to see DJ Moore go, but I'm hearing that they may trade him too. We may be stuck with nobody. Like it may be fire sale, complete
Sheesh.
garbage for 2 years.
Utah.
So we shall see.
Everybody must go.
It's getting scary. Scary hours.
Yeah, it's a bad spot to be in.
Yeah. Oh well, what can you do? Shout out to gambling. Shout out to gambling.
Makes
Holding
it
it
fun.
down makes the NFL fun.
Yeah.
Fantasy makes it fun. Look, I've been a part of many bad Panther seasons. They suck, but it is what it is. I can handle that. Watching them just dump good players is going to be heartbreaking if
Yeah,
it gets to
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
That's tough because that's like
we
the
shall
one
see.
thing you can hang on to. Like we got these guys.
Yeah.
So then once they gone, like fuck.
I may be just an absolute delusional fan. It 100% could be the case. But I truly believe they're a quarterback away from being just a solid football team.
Most
If
That's
they
a
had-
huge thing.
If they had a
most teams are
quarterback,
though, right?
Yeah.
we've got
Right.
a good defense. We have offensive weapons. They haven't been a great cohesive offense. We just got the rookie left tackle. He's been playing top notch. I think we have pieces. So just to
Yeah.
see them go, ship everybody off is gonna suck. I'm really hoping that Tepper just says
The reason why them QBs get
we gonna
paid the
suck
big
this
bucks.
year. We're taking a quarterback with a top 3 pick, and let's try
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah.
But fuck it.
That's why the
What can you
QBs
do?
get paid
We'll
the
see
big
what happens.
bucks, man. They could change the
100%.
course of a whole franchise.
But we are out of time for the most part. We got a couple minutes. Is there anything else football or anything else related that you guys wanted to talk about?
I don't think I had anything pressing to go
Did
over.
I have anything? Oh, this is a little fun fact for y'all that I came across the other day. My boy Billy Belichick is 1 win shy of 324 wins. Will put him at second place of all time wins. You know what I'm saying? And serendipitously, as they put, we're about to go on a 3-game stretch. So it started with Cleveland. From Cleveland, which he got fired, Chicago, which George Hallis, who's in second place now, was his former team, and against the Jets, which Bill almost coached. It's the next 3 games.
Oh, so it's like a revenge tour or something?
Yeah, making it
Interesting.
like it's kind of like set up for him to get these few wins, moving that second spot against teams that kind of meant something.
I mean, look.
I think it might be a bit of a stretch, but it's interesting.
But yeah, who cares? This guy's the greatest coach of all time. We know this.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, it's a great thing, man.
I'm just saying.
Second wins all time.
Say that one more time.
Second
None of,
wins
none
all
of that
time?
shit matters. He's
Shit's
the greatest.
crazy.
He was the greatest coach before you said that shit. It doesn't
crazy.
change anything. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, just, thought it was a good little fun fact.
Yeah, it's cute.
I got a fun fact as well, since we go fun fact section.
What we got?
A fun fact is the Ravens are minus 42 in the fourth quarter.
They are awful.
They are plus.
They have blown
They're like
leads.
plus 36 or something in
To
the
the
first
Ravens?
3 quarters.
Yeah.
They
Minus 42.
blow a lead every fourth quarter this year.
Damn,
Minus
so the
42.
shit you said
is
about Josh
nuts.
Allen, you should be saying about your boy Lamar.
You should.
I mean, it's a fair statement. Right now.
Subpar.
That's nuts.
I mean,
that was-
he was a big. I don't think though the other blown leads were necessarily his fault. This one was certainly his, though. I mean, I don't know if you could put it in anybody else's lap. I think he threw the interception in the fourth quarter that directly led to the Giants taking the lead.
Wow.
And
I
then
didn't
after that, he got Thibodeau hit him with a strip sack for his first career sack, and where
wow.
Lamar was just careless with the ball in the pocket, and that's what ended the game. And I think he had another a pass in there that should have been picked off in the red zone. So he's just he has to play well. But the Ravens defense stinks too, though, because
Really bad.
at the end of the day, they're playing with the lead every single game. I think if you look at it, they've led every game except for like 2 minutes collectively or something
That's
like
why I
that.
said it. Plus 36 in the first 3
Right,
quarters.
right.
They're dumping
I mean,
everybody.
even like most of the game, even like if you look
I
at
would
the
tell,
the last
yeah.
few minutes of the fourth quarter, they're leading all of these games pretty much, and they're just allowing teams to come back. So I think it's mostly a defensive issue. But you got to lay some of that at Lamar's lap and Harbaugh's, of course, too. So
No doubt.
How quick a few weeks do, man.
Yeah, NFL's wild. This is something I'm going to be monitoring this week. I didn't get any time to look into it to have real information, but next week we might have to get into. Dan Snyder looks like he is ready to go to war with the NFL.
He is,
He came
bro.
out like a gangster and said, "Fuck y'all,
Yeah.
I got dirt on everybody. Come at me."
Full Nino Brown.
That shit was
I'm
gangster.
going there. I'm drinking a whole lot of motherfuckers down with me.
that is exactly what he's on. I'm very curious to see what
I
happens.
like that energy, though.
It's fun. It's fun to see.
It's
That's
going to be
for
quite
sure.
entertaining.
You know, he got some shit.
We want to see that
He
shit,
got some
though.
shit.
I want to know what you know. You know?
Yeah.
It's gonna be wild, but
True
we will
indeed.
we'll be monitoring that. Hopefully, I'll get you some more information for next week. We are running low on time, so
Yeah.
if you are on the YouTube, we appreciate you. We'll be back next week, and on the audio, we got these samples coming. 3 of them. We're prepared this week.
Yes,
For sure.
indeed.
Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Peace.